There we go. Okay, there we go. Finally. All right.
Lag.
Bit of a lag, yes. But we are here. Hello, everyone. It's good to see you this fine Monday night. Welcome to Carnivore Talk. And we're going to talk about a number of things tonight. But first of all, the one making the headlines, that was a good starting point, is going to be this Cyclospora Outbreak that's been making the headlines. And I guess they can't detect where this is coming from. Originally, it was linked to shredded iceberg lettuce from Taylor Farms. And Taco Bell got some of the blame for that too, because they use their lettuce, and so do some stores. But I guess that was a false positive is what I was seeing today. I don't know, but either way, thousands of people are being affected with severe diarrhea, cramps, and fatigue. And that's really running rampant here in Ohio. So that's where I live. That's the second largest state with the most cases with the current outbreak. Michigan is number one. But what about carnivores? Well, carnivores are pretty much untouched, especially if you're a clean carnivore. So tonight we're going to talk about Cyclospora and why the carnivore diet offers real protection against this parasite and many other plant-borne risks, from fecal-contaminated produce to anti-nutrients like oxalates, lectins, and fiber irritants. Plants can be a major vector of trouble. And of course, we're preaching to the choir here because you all know this. But if you don't know this, if you're new here, that's what we talk about. We talk about the advantages of a meat-based diet that may be meat only. A large part of our audience is meat only, and they don't eat any plants at all and haven't for decades. And some of us are ketovore and have a little bit of plant matter. Some are keto, some are animal-based, and some in our audience are still eating a standard American diet, and they're just here to learn. And so we're here to help out. Feel free to ask any questions that you would like. Put them in the chat. Preface it with a Q or a couple Qs and a question mark. The software will detect that, by the way, and highlight it for me, and we can answer your questions that way. And anything else you want to talk about, that'll be great. And of course, one of the nice things about Monday night here is you are invited to come on screen with me and with Jeff here. So go ahead, and if you'd like to do that, it's a lot of fun. Click the link that's pinned in the chat of the YouTube. Now, tonight we're also streaming to not just YouTube, but Facebook as usual. And I'm back to streaming to X. So I'm not streaming to Rumble tonight. I'm streaming to X. So I'm kind of up in the air about which one of those two. It's just not a lot of traffic over there on Rumble. I don't get a lot of traffic on X either. So, but anyway, I want to build my X activity. So I think I want to try and focus on that. But I just pasted the link. Feel free to join us. I see we have a couple individuals coming here. We have Donna Ray and I have Kelly. And I know those two individuals, good friends of mine. So I'll go ahead and put them right on the screen. If I don't know you, I'm going to make you wave or do something like this to prove that you're a real human.
There you go.
There you go. All right. So it's good to see everybody tonight, and let's start by let's give the stage to Donna Ray to start with. How are you doing, Donna Ray?
Oh, I didn't know I was on screen yet.
Yes.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I was just on the show with Carnivore Uncut, and then we came over here.
Awesome. Pardon me, I'm still wolfing down a snack that I didn't get to eat dinner. So,
Hi, Kelly. Hi, Jeff.
Howdy.
all right.
Donna.
I watched Carnivore Uncut's recipe video today.
He did a good job.
Yeah, he did really good. And he started off with in the kitchen, with like a crock pot, and then he goes outside to the grill, throws the ball to his dog, comes back in, and that's the first video I got to see of his in its entirety. And I got some downtime this week, so I'm going to get to watch some more. I'm going to get to film some more too for a particular reason. I'll get to that in the comments here in a moment. All right, so what'd you and Carnivore Uncut talk about tonight?
we talked a lot about what the food in Louisiana, where he's from, and a couple of people said I was just on Dave Mack's aired yesterday, so a couple people, said I did a good job. Um, but Dave Mack makes it so everybody does a good job because he's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right.
Yeah.
Very, very good. All right. Kelly, how you doing? How are things going over in Missouri?
We have the swamp butt warning, hot and humid.
Huh. Cool.
Well, and then I'm doing good.
It's actually cooled down here. We had a storm come through the other day, and I think today was probably, I don't know, it might have been 80 or so. It wasn't in the upper 90s like it was. So last night I was out on the porch and it was actually a wee bit chilly. So I hope the heat comes back because I love the summer and I love taking advantage of all the time I can in my pool. So, but it's still swamp butt hot where you're at, I take it, huh?
Yeah, Wednesday is supposed to cool off into the 80s. So I'm not going to complain about this weather. Yeah, I love the cooler weather versus hot, but I know what's coming around in about 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never complain about the heat for that reason. I hate the cold and I hate the snow. Someone who has no concept of cold and snow anymore is Jeff Geezy up in the upper right-hand corner. It's hot down there too. He's got a couple of fans blowing on him tonight, don't you, Jeff?
Yeah, I turned off them industrial fans. I couldn't hardly hear you. I mean, you couldn't hear it in the background, but I couldn't hardly hear you. So I turned them on. And I just got my small fans going. But yeah, it's like 98 here in the shop, which is not terribly bad. Our humidity ain't real high right now. It's about 37%, so it's not that big deal. It's fairly dry. And of course, like I've said before, I don't mind the heat. I've lived in it all my life, and I'm from South Texas, so I'm used to it. I grew up without air conditioning; it's no big deal. But yeah, we're getting ready for a trip, heading out early tomorrow morning, heading up to Colorado, northern part of Colorado. And it's funny, everybody's been saying, "Oh man, it's gonna be nice. Get out of the Texas heat, get up to Colorado." Yeah, go check the weather out. It's running the 90s up there too. we're not getting any better going up to Colorado, So it's just gonna be a good trip. And it'll probably be a drier heat, but still, we're fairly dry here, so it's not that big a deal.
I got this comment up here. This is a friend of mine locally, and yeah, you have to come over and enjoy that pool with me. So he just had he had a get together over the weekend, and he had a pig roast at this get together. So I'm trying to load up the photo. I'm seeing when I'm streaming, my internet connection is slow. It's on my phone. I'm trying to bring up the picture of this pig, but I'd never been to a pig roast before. He had a pig all spread out. It had been cooked for hours and hours and hours.
So
and I helped him in the kitchen pull it apart. And it dawned on me after being on this planet for 50 years, why they call it pulled pork. Because you literally peel back the skin and you start pulling away at it. Yeah.
Oh, I've been eating the last few days. But not from a pig roast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we one of my favorite ways when I kill a wild pig, wild hog, one of my favorite ways is just smoke them whole. I'll take and put them on my pit smoker and smoke them whole. If I could post pictures, I'd show you. And then what I like to do is I'll have what I call a pig picking party. And I've skinned them. I don't cook them with the skin on. And so it's just basically open up the pit and everybody just pick the meat right off the carcass, put it on their plates. Pig picking party.
That's the best great. Right there.
You bet.
I don't know why my photo says that. I'm sorry. I carnivore talk. I swear. I just got off of his show, but
Oh, with Carnivore on. Oh, I see what you're saying.
I don't know how to
Carnivore
fix
Uncut.
it.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I don't even know where you'd change that at. Maybe your settings.
You would have to back out, and then underneath where you have your main name at the top, and then underneath you have your underline. You just delete that.
Oh yeah. So,
Why don't I do that?
so if you back out and come back in, it doesn't matter. You can leave it there. That's okay. It's free advertising for Carnivore Uncut. Don't worry about it.
No, don't hurt our feelings none.
We'll leave it then.
So anyway, I got this. Finally got the picture here. So let me share the screen. So this was share the window. There it is.
Oh,
Beautiful.
Ooh.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yep.
I've never,
So there was
Well, I-
probably 100, 150 guests there, and they were all kind of like, "Oh my gosh, it's an actual pig!" So, and yes, it
love
was. But yeah, we shredded it right there on the table and seasoned it, and everybody enjoyed it. So,
oh, that
but
had
like
to
I
be
said,
so fun.
there's a reason why they call it pulled pork.
And he even made it a carnivore pig. He didn't put the apple in its mouth.
Right. Yeah. All right, let's close those down here. All right, very good. Let's go say hi to some people in the chat here, see who's trickled in. First in the gate, getting the prize tonight was Linda Flanagan at 7:24, right after I posted the live. So welcome, Linda, if you're still here. Jamet's here. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then good point. Carnivore versus plants. Definitely no plants, especially lettuce. Eat meat, repeat. Just my opinion. So yeah. So honestly, the last week, my wife and I thought we might have had it because we had a little tummy trouble, and she got tested for it, came up negative. So that's not the case. But or if you remember, we said we went to Hocking Hills on July 4th weekend, and I did have some fruit salad. And so I was having some digestive issues, and she was having some digestive issues. And then this thing came out on the news about the Cyclospora, and we were like, we wonder. But nobody else in our group, because we went with 2 other families and like a dozen other people, and no one else ever had any issues. So we're all clear.
Good.
But yeah, but most carnivores don't have anything to worry about. So Jerry, this brings us up. She's listening at work. So hope work's going well for you. When you drop the video, make sure to tag me too. I will. So what this is Jerry's taking part in. I think she initiated this series.
Yeah.
Called When Carnivore and Keto Collide. And it's basically just a month of sharing carnivore or keto recipes. And there's a different YouTuber or social media personality every day that's contributing a recipe. So I'm going to film. I said I would participate. So before the end of the month, I'm going to film a short video and upload it, and it'll be part of her playlist. But you can go check that out and see what a lot of us like to make in our spare time to keep our bellies full.
What you gonna cook?
Is it before the end of the month, or you didn't get a specific day?
Well, they keep trying to assign me to a specific day, but I refuse to be consigned to a specific day. I will make the video when I have the time to make the video. And then
You know what I do? If somebody asks me to do something like that and I don't have anything, I just show them what I'm having for lunch.
Yeah.
Call it good.
Yeah. So no, I've not agreed to any particular date, but I will make a video and then they can plug it in their playlist wherever they want. So I'll have a video coming. So I'm not actually going to not do anything fancy, but I often talk about egg life wraps and how I like to do carnivore tacos or carnivore.
That'll be excellent.
Tacos. So I'm gonna do a video showing how I put together my carnivore Mexican food night. That's what I'm gonna do.
I've got time so far.
Yep.
For this for this challenge. One of the times I just made sardines because that's what I was having for lunch. I mean,
Uh-huh.
when you've been doing it so many times,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw Desiree's video where she did an omelet.
yeah.
Yeah, she made
It
an
was funny
omelet.
because I had just made myself an omelet. I used smoked goat and Jarlsberg cheese, and the flavor combination was just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But she did something weird with hers I've never seen anybody do, and she poured, what was it? Was it pickle juice or something in it?
Green olive juice.
Green olive juice. That's what
Yeah,
it was, from green olive. I had never seen that, and my first thought is, why would you do that? My second thought was, I may have to try that. I got to try it just to see, what it's like. Because I know we always have olives in the refrigerator. My wife loves those garlic stuffed olives,
Yeah.
and so we always have that in the fridge. So I may have to try that one of these days.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm supposed to throw to somebody next. So if you want to make a video, Jeff, I can explain it to you. I can explain it to you later how it's supposed to be.
I can come up with
I've
something.
done it 3
Yeah.
times already. Come on.
I figured you might like that because you do recipes, you're creative, and you're starting to upload content now. So that would be good. All right. Very good. Carnivore Wayne is in the house. Bill Cook and Linda
Hi,
McDaniel
Carnivore
from
Wayne.
Michigan. Frank Calabrese. Bill says, "Ugh, coffee refill, no cream." All right. You have to drink
coffee.
Man. Isabella Goyer's here. And then Michigan must love Taco Bell. That's funny. Yeah. All right. Taco Bell, anytime there's any kind of illness that has to do with the back end of a human being, Taco Bell seems to always get the blame for it. So
Taco
I
Bell.
saw a meme about that today. With a Taco Bell sign. I'm sorry, Jeff. I am.
No, that's fine.
And
That's
it
fine.
said, "It's not like you've never had diarrhea before. Why are you complaining now?"
right.
Well, Taco Bell has a reputation all on their own.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
They don't have to have, parasites, bugs, or whatever in their food. It's, you go there if you want to get cleaned out, period.
So
So
the funny thing is okay. So I worked at Taco Bell in the 90s, and by and large, it's actually an okay place to eat. The two criticisms I had was that back then their refried beans came dried, looked like a bag of dog food, and you dumped it into this pan, and you added boiling hot water to it. And you also added this huge scoop of Crisco seed oil into it and let it all melt. And then you stirred it together. And that was the refried beans. Now, since then, they've removed the Crisco portion of it. So they no longer add that fat to it anymore. My other criticism was if cinnamon twists, all they are is macaroni noodles. They're just macaroni noodles that are deep fried, covered in sugar and cinnamon. So, but the beans were disgusting. Everything else I was pretty comfortable with, and I could recommend eating there with a clean conscience. So it's not as bad as everybody says it is. So,
Down here, their main competition is a place called Taco Casa,
mm-hmm.
and much better food than Taco Bell. I mean, I was never a huge fan of Taco Bell, but I was a fan of Taco Casa. And the difference being is all their food at Taco Casa is made on site.
Mm-hmm.
The beef is cooked there on site. The seasonings are added. The refried beans, you can actually see them back there working the refried beans, the whole 9 yards. Of course, all that stuff's been off limits for the last 3 years. Until they introduce egg life wraps, I'm through with eating at them places.
Right. Yeah. Now with Taco Bell, all the meats come pre-cooked. So they come in off the semi truck already cooked. and they come in bags and they're frozen, and you get them out, and again you throw them in these pots of boiling water and let them come up to temp. So they are cooked off site.
Funny story. So got a really good friend, and she's a vegetarian. She was raised a vegetarian. She doesn't know any other lifestyle. She was raised. There is a town here in Texas, and I can't remember the name of it. It's not too far from where I'm at, I don't think. But they're a Seventh-day Adventist town. You come into that town, you go to a convenience store, you ain't buying cigarettes, you ain't buying, a lot of stuff. You're not going to be buying a lot of fast food stuff. This town locks all that stuff down. Well, this gal was raised in that. Now, she was a gorgeous gal, great figure, and always sick. And I told her, I says, and this is before I was even carnivore, long before I was carnivore, I said, do you think that maybe because of the way you eat, that's why you're sick? Because I'm sorry, I think all human beings need meat. And she says, I've tried to eat meat and I can't. My body won't accept it. She's been a vegetarian all her life. Well, then sometime later, she's telling me she used to work at Taco Casa, and that's how she could tell me that everything is fresh made there. And I said, so what was it like being a vegetarian and working there? She said, I loved working there and I ate there. I said, well, what did you eat? She says, well, I ate the refried bean burritos. I didn't have the heart to tell her that they put lard in them refried beans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Never told her. I didn't want to hurt her feelings.
Alrighty. Let's see here. Here's a couple questions here. This is not a question, but Carnivore Uncut says, hey, Bob, I'll be watching while on the road. That's fine. I actually watched your recipe video while I was driving home from work today. So fair's fair. So very good. And then here, Sunshine says, should I get a CAC score first and check lipids before going carnivore? I don't see the point. Because your CAC score, that changes ever so slowly. I mean, if you're a stats nerd and if you can get it cheap, go for it. I don't think it's imperative one bit.
If you just wanted to set a baseline, something
right.
to compare to, I would actually do more like get a blood panel done, a complete blood panel.
Yeah,
and use that as a bloodline to just compare over the months and years.
Yeah, get a CMP. If you want to get a lipid panel, that's fine. Just know what what you might be in store for when some people go carnivore. They see their depends what's going on. If you're very obese, then you might actually see your LDL drop, and your trigs go up and your HDL go down a little bit, and while you're rapidly losing weight, the lipid panel becomes very unreliable until you've stabilized your weight loss. So especially if you're doing any rapid weight loss. So if you keep getting lipid panels, and you might see, if you're thin, you might see the LDL go way up because now you're using LDL to transport energy around your body, and so instead of insulin. And so people react different ways based on their physiology. They say about a third of people's LDL goes up, a third of people stay the same, a third of people's LDL goes down. It all depends on your personal circumstances. But what happens to a lot of people because of that is they go on a carnivore diet, they get their lipid panel, and then they freak out because their doctor freaks out, and because modern medicine has told us like LDL is bad and all this other stuff too. So if you want to, yes, but know that is going to change. So your lipid panel will change, and if you become a carnivore, your new normal is going to be different than what it used to be while you were on a standard American diet. But that kind of gets deep into some other questions there. So should you for the sake of tracking stats? Sure. if you have any chronic conditions, you check your kidneys, check your liver, and all that stuff too. Check your thyroid. I mean, you can. There's 2,000 things you can check, and if you wanted to see if carnivore is improving them. So, you kind of would need to know more about you as an individual as to which ones to recommend. But the basics, like Jeff said, is a complete metabolic panel, CMP. I lost my place. No, I didn't. All right. Very good. Let's see here. That's all I had. Need to frame that. The picture of the pig. So I'm gonna post it on social media eventually. I've just been too busy, distracted to get around. Here we go from Uncle Charlie. Good to see you, Uncle Charlie. And says, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Kelly, what is your eating schedule? Because you are looking lean, mean, fight machine. You're looking younger by the minute. Are you still on lion diet? I remember you got a lot of meat. So tell us, Kelly, what are you eating lately?
I'm pretty much eating one meal a day, except for today. That's what I've been doing, like around between 12 to 2 o'clock, somewhere in there. I'll just have my meal. Except for today, I had 2 meals. I didn't eat all of mine because it's so hot. When it's hot, I don't eat as much. And so I got hungry, so I ate when I got home, but pretty much one meal a day and majority lion, but it's pretty much regular carnivore. I have eggs. Like tonight, I made poffles and I did hot dogs. And I did Poffle 2.0. I added one more ingredient in it, and it fluffed it up. And I believe my daughter is done with buns. She tried one. She really liked it. So I'm going to have to pull a Jeff and start making a half a dozen of them and keep them in the fridge.
Yeah, you put them in the fridge. You can freeze them, whatever you want. Pop them in the toaster to heat them up. They work great.
I saw an interesting comment. I'm doing a little research on it real quick here. Let me ask that. All right. Marked safe from the parasite, says Aaron. Booby goats.
As we all are.
Yes. Steadfast. Even us, even my wife and I, even though we were kind of concerned there for a minute. So shame on me for having some berries over the weekend on that 4th of July weekend. Steadfast, been watching content on this parasite. Apparently it's from human waste and not treatable with parasite meds. That's just what I would have taken for anything called a parasite, but can make it worse. So,
Yeah, they said Michigan has a high rate. It says they may say it's possibly due to water contamination with a lot of flooding this year.
Oh, wow.
And then they not for sure what it is with the lettuce. I don't know if it's from traveling or, the workers are wasting, making a waste, or are they using human waste for fertilizer?
Them workers in the field, when they got to go, they go. I don't care if it's your food or not.
okay. So I'm going to ask. I think it says it can shed through human feces, but I don't know if that's the only. Only right. It spreads through the fecal oral route, so it could be orally spread too. So okay, yeah. So I know because I know what you're thinking right away is like, what exactly do they do that lettuce? So. Yeah, I'd have to look into that a little further. So, but yeah, no, I mean, it sheds that way. Well, a lot of other viruses can shed that way too. Here, check this out. We have Dr. Kiltz in the house. How you doing?
Yay!
Guilty.
Kiltzy, how you doing?
Hi, Dr. Kiltz.
Hi, all. How's it going?
Good.
Pretty good.
Fantastic, good.
I
went for my
walk in the hills, and I got back, and I was like, I'm going to jump in bed. I'm going to relax. And I opened up, and I said, "Oh, Bob's on." And so I thought I would just watch in bed, but I thought, no, I better get up and come down and join you guys.
Well, we're talking about health benefits of avoiding plants. So we're talking about how carnivore is actually a shield against foodborne illnesses like the Cyclospora outbreak that's been going on the last 2 weeks. So
I love the thumbnail you had to invite people in. That was really good. Really good.
saw the woman eating the salad all sickly.
Well,
And then you got the strong guy eating the steak. Yeah. So
lettuce and salad I call nature's toilet paper. You can never wash it off. Ever.
So I think every time there is some sort of disease outbreak, whether it's the Cyclospora, this is the first time I've kind of really heard of it, but in the past it's been like E. coli. Oftentimes lettuce is the culprit. I mean, I don't know how many lettuce recalls I've seen in my life, but it's always lettuce being recalled.
It has a lot of nooks and crannies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's low to the ground. I mean, it's on the ground essentially. And I heard you talk about flooding and fecal contamination and it's just the bugs and the poop, it's all right there. And as much as you try to wash them off, it's like when we sterilize skin to do surgery, people still get skin infections, even though we sterilized it. You can't do it. Can't do it. Hi, Donna Ray. How you doing? Kelly and Jeff, how you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, very good. So what time zone are you in currently?
New York.
You're in New York? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, because I know you've been bouncing between New York, Florida, and California.
Yes.
Yeah. And you recently moved your morning video podcast, morning meetings to 9 a.m.
Although I'm slipping in a non-guest 6 a.m. Because that's sort of my time.
Okay.
And so I do a 6, and then we do a guest at 9. And but then when I'm in California, I'll just do the 6 a.m. there, which will be 9, and that'll be my.
Oh yeah.
I'm going back and forth. That's the plan.
Okay, yeah. So 9 o'clock I've been able to catch because I'm leisurely on the road by 9, so I can dial you in and listen to it on my way to work. So
We have Ken Berry on Friday.
oh,
Wow.
nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Definitely tune in
That
there.
one I will have to tune in while I'm at work doing the Tiger Village stair steppers.
Oh,
3 flights of stairs, 6
Oh.
buildings, 2 sections. Dumping AC pan. So
God bless you. You keep the people healthy and comfortable, Kelly. That's a good one. Tough job. But it is we're really grateful to the 9 a.m. has been kind of interesting. I still like 6, but we have obviously a little more West Coast people, but it's still our group was the 6 a.m. So it's kind of I'm learning it. It's a change. I'm 70.
There you go, Charlie. He's 70. And he looks around 55. So that's a good thing.
We'll take it.
That's a testimony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do 80
Right
push-ups.
there.
I took a
Very
nice
good.
hike in the hills. It's interesting. I mean, I feel pretty energetic and pretty good, but I still don't have the as much power and energy I had 20 years ago. I don't know why. I don't know. It comes and goes. My knees are a little more easily hurt. I got to be careful with them, and some of my joints. So I just don't do all the pounding I used to do.
Mm-hmm. All right. Very good. I'm 50. So, and right now I feel like I did when I was in my early 30s. So it's just interesting because 5 years ago, I felt like I was ready to crawl into the grave. So that's been a nice turnaround for me too. So right now I feel like I can keep going for the next 20 years. So, and we have Kurt. How you doing, Kurt?
Uh,
Kurt
What
is
have you
I
not.
don't look there, Kurt.
Kurt
What?
is Kurt hurt?
What's going on?
Oh, my umbilical.
I had umbilical, right and left hernias all done.
Yeah, it's mine. Mine came. I don't know. Something happened and at work, and here I am in the hospital. So,
Pushing them 2,000-pound carts around.
yep, yep,
Did you say umbilical?
yep.
Umbilical
What's that?
hernia.
Oh, hernia. Okay. All right, that makes sense now. All right.
Yep, made it almost 2 years. Two years worth of mileage on that.
Well, I had my umbilical done once, my right inguinal done twice. So, we're old cars.
Speak for yourself.
Did this happen today?
Well,
Yeah, yeah. I was moving one of the carts, and the pain. It was like a burning sensation and in my stomach, and I just told the boss I got to go to medical.
Mhm.
And they told me to go out and see the emergency room. So that's where I'm at.
Well, if it had to happen, glad it happened on the job.
Yeah. Well, they didn't give me any paperwork, so I'm not too concerned.
Yeah, but it'll still be documented.
Yeah, the first thing that really irritated me though is I walk in and security is like, you got any weapons? I said, no. Well, that lady will check you in. So I go over there and she didn't say, hi, how you doing? She's just like, your social security number, please. Nah, not happening. You have any ID? I said, I got my insurance card. Here you go. Everybody wants your social security number. Why is that, Dr. Giltz?
So they can track you down.
Yeah, well,
for
yeah.
bills.
So to try to get your Social Security money.
Yeah.
Don't know. Doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Although I guess that's the one unique number we have, because our driver's license isn't unique and our passport's not unique. Our Social Security really is it.
Yep. Maybe that's the number of the beast.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Mhm.
Never know. So who we got in the house? Is that Donna?
Yeah, Donna Ray, Bacon Runner, and let me let me uncover Kelly there. There we go.
I was hiding.
Yeah, you were hiding. Yeah.
I was playing hide and seek.
I just wanted to stop in and like I usually do on Monday nights and say hey. And,
I'm glad you did. Sorry to hear you're doing bad, buddy.
no, I'm not doing bad. My wife's here to keep me calm and so I don't choke anybody. Well, not choke, but just
Are you there?
I don't scream at anybody.
Are you
Are you there for the night? You think?
No. They're going to do some blood work and supposed to do a CT scan or something with contrast, and then I'll probably end up going to my doctor that I went to at another hospital and redo the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the same network I have my cardiologist with. So if that tells you anything.
Yeah, the one you fired.
Yep. Gotta love them doctors. No offense, Dr. Kills.
I'm 100% with you.
Well, you have doctors in the light and doctors on the dark side. We have doctors in the light.
Yeah. Well, these doctors and surgeons in this matter probably shouldn't give you any grief. So hopefully they'll get you nice and taken care of, sewn back together.
Oh, I'm not having surgery here. Definitely not.
Mm-hmm.
No, they wanted to give me medications, pain medications, and nausea medications first thing. No, not happening. Don't need them. Don't want them. just get the paperwork for work so I can go see my doctor. Get to have him do the surgery. I love him. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, anyways, just checking in, saying hey, and now bounce back.
All right. Yeah, no, you will bounce back. And we look forward to you bouncing back, and keep us updated on how things go, please.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
You too, buddy.
Nice seeing everybody.
Good seeing you.
All right.
You too, Kurt.
Take care. Prayers to you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, that's too bad to see him laid up like that. Hopefully he gets a quick recovery. So, all right.
Our bodies wear out.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they do. So that's why you can tell the difference between 70 and 50. Even with all the advantages of a carnivore diet, you still got 70 years of mileage on that on that old model.
Yeah,
That's
not
what my
all of us
knee-
could be fortunate like Rick and started so young that our bodies don't wear out due to the SAD diet. They just wear out naturally from work.
Yeah.
You know,
Like-
there's no telling what any of us would be like if we had started when we were, children. You know, if we were like Maggie or Rick, and had never known the SAD diet, it's just unimaginable what we would feel like now.
Yeah, I've never felt better. Again, Maggie is like amazing.
Yeah.
And just I haven't seen anyone quite like her at all. She's
Well, when I was a kid, I was a big time meat eater. I've always said I was born a carnivore. I've always loved meat. That's all I ever wanted, and I like the fattiest meat. I ate the fat. But my mother was a great cook, and you had to eat vegetables. You had to eat the starches. You had to have this balanced diet, because that's what we were all told. And so, I grew up eating all that stuff, and I was a bread lover, and I love potatoes and corn. But in reality, it would have been real easy for me to just be a carnivore right from the get-go, because I've always loved meat. And when I heard I could do this and be healthy, it was Katie, bar the door, get out of my way. I got to go cook me some steak.
Uncle Charlie says, I see the cholesterol code is on YouTube for free. Did anybody watch it? I didn't bother watching it because I could care less about cholesterol. So I I tuned in late. So I've caught like the last 30 minutes of it, and it was excellent. And
I didn't even know it
I
was
bought
on.
the movie on Amazon. I bought that. I wanted to see it, and then I wanted to share it with others.
Yeah, so it is available for free now. Oh, I just got to find it now.
It's on YouTube, but it's a really good movie, and it's about cholesterol, but it's about keto, and it's about carnivore.
It's more about the keto and carnivore helping people, improve their health, particularly their mental health. So
I thought it was very good.
yeah, okay. So I just clicked on that. Okay, so here's the link. I'm going to paste it in the chat. So my links are clickable. Click on that and bookmark it. That's the cholesterol code. Absolutely worth your time. I mean, it depends why you pay attention to this stuff. If you're in it for the stories, you're going to find this inspiring. The stories will definitely move your heart. If you're in it for the science, you're going to learn a lot from that too. So, I mean, it's a well-rounded video. And if you're not worried about your cholesterol, that's okay. Watch it anyway. It's worth it. It's worth believe me, it's worth watching. So, and if you could and then the challenge now is to get this documentary in front of the eyes of those who need to see it. Other doctors, and other individuals who may be worried about their cholesterol. The people that need to see it are the ones that aren't likely to see it. So that's, we need to try and encourage others to see it. I would highly recommend it. So, all right. Jerry, question for everyone here. Who plans on taking the Kilt's Mighty Tribe course now that it is drastically discounted to $99? Is that the coaching course or is that another course?
It's the coaching course for now. Yeah. But that's like Alia, it's supposed to be the coaching course discounted.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So people don't know me. I'm the most affordable fertility care in America. The standard price is $20,000 to $30,000. I charge $5,000. And so, whatever I can do to get the course in more people's hands, that's what I want to do.
That answers my question from yesterday.
It did. But I don't hear all these things. Alia just does. So
I saw it on the Kilt's Mighty Tribe app, and I'm like, that answers my question. So I'm gonna sign up for it and take it. Says I guess it's on. You can do it as you can go.
It is a study at your own pace. Okay, so I've taken the course. I've taken the course. I've got my certification. You will learn a lot. It's a course, it's school, it's learning. If you want to get into that, it's obviously they're going to teach you something so that you learn a lot of information, and that's really good. And if there's a deal on it right now, I'd take advantage of it because I paid a lot more than that for it. So
I know,
and this is always the challenge, right? I know some others paid more and now it's less. I mean, that was always the hard part of it.
Had no big deal.
Yeah. I'll get you some more value, Bob.
Don't worry about it.
but it's sort of, I think, like anything else, the more people that can have access to all these courses, and I just heard today that Dr. Abbs and Richard Smith are putting together a new World Nutrition organization. Let me see, here it is. It's the World Nutrition Organization coming out. You'll hear more about it, but I just heard about it today. It's maybe a little bit like the American Diabetic Society.
Mm-hmm.
Which, it's just another organization to sort of, in this case, it's to counteract the World Health Organization. Bring some real power to it.
All right, that'll be exciting.
Yeah.
So, very nice. All right. Hello, dog. My dog just busted in. Hey, Willow. Willow. Go say hi. Nope, there she goes. All right.
I'm shy.
Yep. All right. I can stop bringing up questions for you if you want. How long does the price last? Amanda wants to know.
Don't know that answer yet.
All right.
Don't know that answer, but it's a sale at this point, trying to encourage people. It may be one of those perpetual sales.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Right. So for a limited time only, but how limited? Well, we don't know yet.
Don't know yet. But if you stay tuned, it'll likely be that again soon.
Mm-hmm. All right. Bill says we need an American Heart Society to replace the American Heart Association.
Well, I think we can make all of these new societies. Maybe I got to do it for the fertility stuff too.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, Steadfast was in the first round of classes with us. We were the test class, so we were the ones that they were working out all the bugs. So it was fun.
Yeah,
they got it all ironed out. They got it all ironed out now.
I'm reading this. This was Alia posting on the Kilts on the KMT. Hello, everyone. Quick, exciting update. We're only 15 coaches away from reaching 100 Kilch health coaches certified this year. If you've been thinking becoming a Kilch health coach, now is the perfect time. Dr. Kilch asked us to run a summer sale, and full course is currently $99 for anyone who wants to jump in. But she didn't put no limited time.
Okay.
Use code SUMMER to get your discount.
Oh, there you go. Summer.
Summer.
The hint is in the coupon code. Summer.
Yes.
I figure I'll go ahead and sign up for it, and here in about a month, I'll have plenty of time to get it done because I'll be recovering from hip replacement here in a couple months.
Oh yeah, you'll have plenty of time then. Very good.
Which you'll be
Well,
bionic.
you can reserve now while it's on sale, and then work at your own pace when you have when you're laid up with your hip replacement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think you could pay in payments too.
Ah, there we go. There we go. I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
there you go. There you have it. How much more incentive could you possibly need? Come on, everybody. Get over there to KMT and sign up for the health coach course.
Well, it's kind of interesting because this is one of the issues I'm dealing with my fertility societies is they claim that patients aren't smart enough to determine what they want to do. And, my claim here is that they have access to more knowledge and information. And the more that we could teach people and give them the knowledge to make their decisions of which way they want to go, and or teach them methods that they could find a place where they could learn and ultimately make the decisions. And again, that's really what our job is, to provide knowledge and access.
All right. Pam says, my brother has stage 4 kidney disease. He strongly believes protein will cause more damage. I've been trying to convince him to try. Do you know of anything I can share with him to help change his mind? So yes, I made a YouTube video called chronic kidney disease and the carnivore diet. The thumbnail says carnivore diet plus stage 4 chronic kidney disease, because I know someone who has stage 4 chronic kidney disease. That's me. And I've been, I teeter on the edge of 4 and 5. So I've been stage 4 since 2019. I started carnivore in 2023. And for the first year, I was a strict carnivore. I went the entire year with no plants. And then, and now these days I am still strict the majority of the time, and I treat myself every once in a while. So yeah, I'm a carnivore, and I've got stage 4, borderline stage 5 chronic kidney disease. Now, in that video, I cite a study, and the study determined the study is over on PubMed or one of these other journals, but it was done, I think, in 2018, and it goes into great detail about why protein consumption is not bad for kidneys. So now there's oftentimes some confusion why it might be bad for those with chronic kidney disease, especially late stage kidney disease. And I still don't think there's any evidence for it, because now I'm over 3 years on it with basically essentially no change. And the reason for this is because, well, you know what I detail in the video. Watch that video. I'm just going to repeat what's in the video. Just definitely watch the video. There's a reason. It makes sense when you look at the numbers why they think protein causes damage. So, because you eat some protein and some of your numbers will trickle in the worst direction. That's because your kidneys aren't clearing out the stuff from your blood as fast as they used to when they were healthy kidneys. They're bad kidneys now. And then when you stop eating protein, then those kidneys can catch up and your blood numbers look like they improve. So it gives the illusion that your kidneys are getting worse if you eat meat, and it gives the illusion that they're getting better if you eat plants, when really nothing's going on whatsoever. So, but if you're looking for proof or a study or something can give him that he's going to believe in, go watch that video of mine on the Carnivore Talk YouTube channel, chronic kidney disease and the carnivore diet. and then follow the link to that study. Hopefully, is in the show notes. If not, email me and I will dig it up and I will send it to you directly. So, all right. Brian says the coaching course changed his life forever. All right.
If anybody hadn't listened to Brian's story last night on Keto Rock Stars coaching Rockin' Amy, I need to go to her channel and listen, watch Brian's story. It is awesome.
Yes,
Amazing.
All right, very nice. All right, speaking of rocking Coach Amy, she's in the house here. Good to see you. And Patricia Butler, good to have you here. Anybody that wants to join us on screen, I'm going to go ahead and share the link. If you're over on X or Facebook, here comes the link. If you're on YouTube, well, it's coming that way too, but it's also pinned in the chat. I've got room for 10 on screen, so we're half full. So click that link, join us. It's a lot of fun. It's really easy. If you're a little nervous about, being on camera or live streaming or Zooming or something, this is a good way to kind of break the ice. We'd love to talk to you face to face, and you get to talk to Dr. Kiltz. So think about that.
Yeah.
Dr. Kiltz is here.
I do a screenshot of me and Dr. Kiltz. I want to get on your show, Dr. Kiltz, but I couldn't do it on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
I always love watching Bob, but the problem is it's like my bedtime is like quick approaching. But I always love watching you guys. Jeff, Donna, Kelly, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to get off soon too.
I understand. It's like you get up and you're live streaming by 6 a.m. I'm up at 6 a.m. It's just to use the bathroom and go back to bed.
I get up at 3:30, usually out of the house by 4, and office by 4:30, 4:20. I get my coffee, my quiet time. I do some reading. Usually my nephew's already there, opening the place up and getting the laundry all done. And so busy. It's already been, we're seeing patients at 6 a.m.
Wow. Early riser.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My son recently got a new job. He's not working for me anymore, and he's got to get up at 5 a.m. now. It was rough the first week, but he's now doing it, and he likes it. He likes getting up early. He says it's real peaceful. He gets out on the road, and he's driving to work. Nobody's out there.
Nobody.
Likes it. Yeah. Up here I saw a comment here. Lions Carnivore podcast says, about to eat a huge ribeye, half a stick of butter. Love this lifestyle.
Yeah.
Awesome. Delicious. Half a stick of butter. That's a good talking point. How many of you slather butter over everything? I actually don't. I use tallow or butter or ghee to cook with. And, but usually I just eat things the way they come. So if I have a ribeye, yes, I lubricated the pan with some butter if I cook it on a skillet, or if not, I cook it on a grill with nothing, and then I just eat it. So I'm kind of not one of those that usually piles butter on everything. The only time I do is like seafood or chicken, something lean. Then I'll use a lot of butter. But for my red meat, not usually. How about you guys? Are you a stick of butter a day, half a stick of butter a day?
I used to, but I don't even do it on my red meat anymore. I get a cutting board. I'll do the black and blue rare, sear it on the outside, move it on the inside, and I'll slice it up and I'll eat it just like finger foods. I don't even use I don't even use a fork anymore when I do it. I just sit at the table and eat it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Since I must have fat with everything I eat, I will use butter to substitute when I'm eating something that's lean. So like my burger, when I have my burger made, it's made 70-30. Most of that renders out when I cook it. And if I do it like in my air fryer, I can pour that fat back over, and it's a wonderful sauce. But if I cook it out on my grill, or smoke it, I lose a lot of that fat. Can't retain it. So I'm gonna eat butter with it. Ribeye, I don't eat butter with because ribeye generally has enough fat on it. It's not needed. But if it's a sirloin, there ain't enough fat on a sirloin to suit me. So I'm going to eat. And like if I smoke a goat or smoke some lamb, generally there's not a lot of fat on some of them pieces. So I'm gonna have butter with it. I gotta have fat with nearly every bite.
Fat with every bite. All right.
I will typically spread butter. I like it black and blue sliced, and I spread butter on it. And sometimes if I have a really great thick steak on the grill, I'll actually put butter on it so it melts and brings the flames up and chars it black, sliced up, and I'll put a little extra butter on it and then some molten salt. And I love adding butter on it. Not quite a stick, half, quarter, perfect.
Mm-hmm. All right. Bill says he likes butter in his coffee. So I've tried to put butter in my tea, make a what do they call it? Fat bomb or something. I used to do I did the butter. Bulletproof. That's it. Bulletproof. I did the bulletproof tea. I did the butter and I did the coconut oil and stuff. And yeah, it's I gotta whip it up in a blender. It's really good. But then as you drink it, it stays behind and starts to solidify. So, mixing it in was the hard part.
You're letting your coffee, your tea cool off too quick.
Oh,
you got to drink that down while it's hot.
Yeah. Maybe I don't make it hot enough. I got this kettle and you can change the temperature on it. I usually just set my water to 175 when I make tea. So, all right. We got Breeze says pork rinds and butter.
No doubt about that. I turned my wife onto that, and she became a monster about it. If she wants a snack, if she late in the evening she wants a snack, she gets the butter and the pork rinds. It's good stuff.
Butter or just butter, cold butter.
I've never been a pork rind. I mean, I have them sometimes. I'm trying to think, but not very much. I remember I used to eat them when I was keto with avocado long ago. I love that.
Yeah, well, they're my chips.
Yeah,
I get a lot about chips that people get hooked about, and same thing with drinking soda waters, Cokes. It's not so much the flavor as it is the salt and the mouthfeel. You got to have that crunch. With Cokes, a lot of it's that carbonation. That's what you get hooked on. Yep. And for me, now being a Southerner, we love our pork rinds. In fact, so a while back here, I made a trip to Alabama, and when I'm in another state, now say I'm big on Texas barbecue, and I make from what everybody tells me, I make some great Q. But I like trying other states' Q. I want to know how they make theirs. I want to taste it. And so we was in Alabama, and it was a number one goal. I had to go try some Alabama barbecue. I understand they got some great ribs, and where we ate, it was good. It was top notch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I even tried a little bit of their white sauce. I'm sure it wasn't any good, but here was what impressed me. I look at the appetizers, and what do they got in appetizers? Pork rinds. Now, only in Alabama you're going to have pork rinds for an appetizer at a barbecue joint, and they were fresh out of the fryer. I mean, they cooked them up right there, in the kitchen, fresh out of the fryer. So they still, I'm sure they were cooked in seed oils. I'll give them that. I'm on a trip. I'm not going to worry about it. But they dusted them with a seasoning that was just really good, and then I dipped it in a little bit of that white sauce. I'm going to tell you what, that was the bomb. It was good stuff, I'm sure somewhere down the line I paid for it, but it was still tasty. But yeah, it's a Southern thing. We like our pork rinds.
I've never had
the trick is finding clean.
Fresh cooked must be the very best. That's gonna be the best. Fresh cooked.
Yeah. And I've made my own cracklings before. I haven't made pork rinds, but I've made my own cracklings. Depending on where I get my bacon from or my pork belly from, I make my own bacon. And if I get my pork belly at a butcher shop, they generally still have the skin on. If I buy it like at the store, like at HEB or something, it'll be skin off. So when I buy it with skin on, then I make my own cracklings. And it's a long process, it's a long cook time, but man, they sure are tasty.
Excuse me, Bob. I'm
Yes.
gonna get off now. I've got things to do before bed, and I got a long day tomorrow too. So,
All right, Donna. Well, thanks for joining.
I'm glad
Good to
let
see
me
you,
know.
Donna.
I've been wanting to come on this show.
All
Bye,
right.
Donna.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome back
Appreciate it, Donna.
anytime.
Thanks for showing up.
Have a
Always
good
the
night.
best.
See you. Good night.
Night. I gotta go soon too.
Okay.
Guys are great.
Jamette asks or says, "I'm praying for Bill Knott Saw's video." I haven't. Anybody know what's going on?
I
His
subscribe
house
to
got
Bill.
mold in it from the flood, so he's camping in his box truck.
Okay.
Ah,
All right. I actually hadn't seen a video of his in a while. His old channel got hacked or taken down, and
Yeah, I got hacked.
then I don't know if he has a new one now, or he
He
must have a
does.
new one now. So, yeah, I kind of lost when the old one stopped working. I kind of lost touch with Bill as far as keeping up with him. So,
his van
All right.
with his cat.
man with his cat.
Man with his cat. So
Lions Danivore podcast says, "I eat a stick of butter like a Snickers these days." That's funny. Yeah. Rodney asks, "What brand of ghee do you use?" Whatever's at the store. So whatever they carry down at Meijer and whatever they carry over at Sam's Club or BJ's. So I actually haven't paid attention to the brand. I just saw that said ghee on it. So Charlie says, "I cut out the butter and bacon and inches are flying off." That some people need to do that. That's fine. Good that you found something that works
It's the
for you.
cheese and the cream that does it.
Mm-hmm. Sandy, same thing. I had to cut back on butter. It had me stalled. So yeah. I mean, you overeating is possible even on carnivore.
Well, and then there's those of us that are in maintenance,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to keep the weight on because I'm going to tell you what, you can lose too much weight.
Speaking of which, okay. So in my 6 months of carnivore, I dropped 60 pounds, 235 to 175. And since the end of 23, I have basically bounced around every morning. I weigh myself every day between 176 and 179. It's always going to be somewhere in there. The other week, I started losing weight again. And every day I'm down like another half pound. And this morning I was 169.6. I have not seen anything in the 160s since I was 19.
wow. You're about 5'6", Bob?
5'8".
5'8".
Yep. Yeah. So I was like, oh wow, I started losing weight. And a couple things have probably contributed to it. One, the 90-some degree weather. I don't have much of an appetite, so it's easy to go back to intermittent fasting or one meal a day when it's this hot out. So that's part of what's come into play. And I actually have switched up my blood pressure meds. And that's often a topic I talk about here. And I got my blood pressure somewhat improved now. And we're going to see how it goes. But I actually had it down in a range where if it stays there, I'd be pretty happy with it. So the combination of the two, I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it. But yeah, I was before at the Hocking, when I came back from the Hocking Hills trip, I was 179. I was 177 176 the day before the Hocking Hills trip, which is the 4th of July weekend. I came back that Monday, I weighed in at 179. And then ever since then, I've just dropped. And I'm 169.6 today.
No butter.
So I'm excited. So I'm happy. So my new goal now is probably 165. And then maybe I'll then fine tune it to 160. So
Wow. Wow. All
we
right.
shall see.
I'm
All right.
I'm between 155 and 160. That's sort of that's mine. I'm 5'6".
Okay.
Well, I'm 6 foot, and when I got down to 160, I thought I've got to start eating again.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I added a little cheese back in.
Yeah.
And what I realized in my case, we were moving our farm, and that's a job and a half moving a farm. And I mean, 28 trips it took moving equipment and everything else. But so we get moved. I hit 160, and what I realized is I was losing muscle. I'm same age as you, Dr. Kiltz, and I was looking at sarcopenia.
Yeah, not good.
And
Not good.
yeah, and I'm afraid I was losing muscle, and that's why I got so low on my weight. And so I started hitting the creatine and hitting the gym. I joined the gym as soon as we got settled in, and I've been putting muscle back on and building up some definition. I do progressive overload, always trying to improve my lifts each week. And I did the creatine for 3 or 4 months, and I didn't like what it was doing to my waist. I mean, it was doing great for my shoulders and my muscles, but it was also making my waist thicker, and I didn't like that. So I quit the creatine, and I haven't missed it a bit really. But 160, you can lose too much eating carnivore if you ain't careful, because you can lose muscle if you're not careful. You got to lift, and you got to lift heavy, and you got to move.
I do my 100.
What Dr. Baker says about that you got to lift and you got to lift heavy.
I do my 100 push-ups a day. I'll do my walk-in, and I'll do my curls and my dumbbells, and so that's my routine. But all right, I'm going to say good night to everybody. Thank you, Bob and Jeff and Kelly and everyone. Have a great evening. See you tomorrow morning if you show up.
Good night, Doctor.
6 or 9 or both.
Bless. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, Dr. Kills.
When I started at Lion Diet after I got back from that mission trip at end of May, I was about 290, and now I am 278 now. So I'm getting close to where I was my lowest weight lowest weight since I was on carnivore. So
see, what's crazy for me is I look at my past life when I was a healthy, sad diet eater. In other words, I mean, I felt good. I was healthy. I was athletic. When I was an infantryman in the Army, I was about 183. We worked out all the stinking time. We ran 2 to 5 miles every stinking day, and I hate running. But, we 45 minutes calisthenics. We stayed healthy. We stayed fit. When I was in high school, I was 175. So when I got below 175 and I hit 170, and then I got down to 165 and hit 160 eventually, I'm like, I haven't seen this since what? Grade school, junior high? My gosh, that just ain't right for me. I'm 6 foot tall. I'm supposed to, technically, I feel like I should be at 175 if I've got all my muscle back. But I don't know at my age and with sarcopenia, I don't know that that's possible, but I'm working towards it. I am right now 167. And I don't mind putting on weight now as long as what it is muscle and not fat.
All right. Catching up here, Coach Angela. When I drink coffee, I do a stick of butter a day, but I haven't had coffee in 8 days now. So, okay. Very good. Pharaoh Grandma, who, by the way, is probably just fired up her. Oh, no, that's Crochet Grandma that does this. So many grandmas. I got them confused.
Grandma's crochet.
I use butter, but not added to every plate. Yeah. Saying it like this, kind of me too. Linda McDaniel made brown butter bites tonight. So I haven't made those in a while. It was probably about a year. And that's I discovered brown butter bites, and I was making them all the time. And I got little candy trays, so they make these little well, you can silicone trays, you can pop them out, little candies, and I'd sweeten them with a little allulose or stevia, and man, I just kept munching on them, and that's when my cholesterol like went through the roof because I was just like chomping on butter bites for like a couple weeks straight. I do love some butter bites.
That's
All
one
right.
thing I still haven't made yet. My daughter made me some one time, but I don't know. When,
You know what I
when
want
they
to do?
cool off, do they come out white or are they still brown?
So they kind of separate. So they'll be like a dark buttery color on top and then brown on the bottom.
Okay.
You know, so
'Cause I didn't know if she made them right or not, but they didn't have. Everybody talks about that toffee taste, and they didn't have that toffee taste on mine.
I'll tell you,
One batch, she made 2 batches. One batch, she added some allulose, and the ones with the allulose in them were addictive.
I'll tell you what I want to do is make some butter bites and then break them up and blend them in with some Kiltz's ice cream mix and make so that I have like chunks of butter bites in the ice cream. Oh,
You know what's really
That'd be
good?
interesting.
Take that brown butter, make your brown butter bites, brown butter, put it in a big container, chop you up some bacon, put it in there.
Yeah,
it's
brown butter
delicious.
bites with
yeah, I've
bacon.
seen videos on that.
Mhm. Yeah. Amy says, I'm doing better not eating late at night. I do too. I always recommend try not to eat before bed because that'll stall me out or I'll put on a pound overnight.
Well, generally I eat 1 meal a day, and I may not have that meal till sometimes it's around 1, but here lately it'll be 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon before I eat, and that will sustain me till tomorrow without any problem. I don't have any desire to eat or snack, late in the evening. In fact, all I had today was eggs. We're trying to kind of clean out the fridge. I don't want any cooked food in the fridge. While we go on this trip, we're going to be gone a week, and there were 6 eggs left in the door of the fridge, and I asked Mama, I says, "You want any eggs between now and tomorrow?" She said, "No." I said, "I'm wiping these out. We'll collect more when we get back."
Yeah, so I try and eat. Well, my wife sometimes works overtime and won't get home till 6:30, so we try and eat by 7:30, and then I'm up till midnight. So that's about 5 hours before going to bed. I try and make sure don't eat after that. I didn't really have a dinner tonight. You saw me snacking on something at the beginning of the live stream. I might nibble on something when I'm done, just to tell the hunger pangs to shut up so I can sleep, and then I'll just worry about breakfast in the morning. But yeah, I don't like to eat.
I used to do that where I feel like I get that grilling going, and it's like, oh man, snack on a piece of cheese or something. They end up 3 or 4 pieces of cheese down there, and next thing I know, I'm like, I wish I didn't do that. Now I'll go if it's 7 o'clock and I feel that ground. I'm like, you're gonna have to tough it out.
Cranky Carnivore Cutler. Bill Knott's new channel is Bill and Daisy Alaska. Thank you for that. Give me a second while I look that up. Let's see here. Bill and Daisy Alaska. Whoop. Well, there he is. Subscribe. I'll paste that in the chat too. I've actually never talked to him or met him, but I do like his story. All right. Thank you there. My friend Joy is 95 now, and it sounds like she has been moderating sugar and carbs for a long time, and her mind is perfectly clear. Good for her. Yeah. No, I mean, a lot of people can moderate just fine. Carbs aren't inherently bad. No, don't ever anybody ever tell you that the carbs are just inherently bad. It's you're missing some context, So, are you diabetic? Are you addicted? Do you overeat? You know, is it something all natural found that in creation, or is it something that man made that comes in a wrapper? And then that rabbit hole just goes deeper and deeper and deeper. So it's kind of like, also there's people that smoke and drink until they're 100 and never get cancer, you know? So, you know, some people got the juice, some people don't.
The truth about carbs is they're not necessary.
That is true. They're not required.
They're not essential.
Yeah. There's no such thing as an essential carbohydrate.
You don't have to eat them.
So. All right. Jamette, what is more important, strength training or resistance training? Thank you. That's the same thing. I wouldn't know what the difference is.
In my opinion, and it's strictly my opinion, I think they can both go hand in hand. But if I had one over another, which I do choose, I choose strength training, because I go by the philosophy that Dr. Baker talks about, and that you need to lift, and you need to lift heavy. Because here's the deal. Resistance training helps you keep what you've got. It helps you keep some mobility. It helps you keep some range of motion. That's all excellent. Strength training strengthens your joints if you do it right. You can do it wrong and hurt your joints, but it strengthens your joints, it builds up muscle, and it strengthens your bones. Okay, and that is your foundation. And so I think it's more important to build your foundation, but you can use them both in conjunction. I use resistance and strength training. Here's what I do. So I go into the gym. The first thing I do is I warm up my whole body, my whole blood. I'll get on the elliptical, and I'll go at 3 miles per hour for a mile, every 10th of a mile, increasing the height or the angle of the not the elliptical, the treadmill, increasing the height of it. Some days I'll get in there and all I'm doing is getting the blood flowing in my body real good. Some days I'll go in there, I'll get on the elliptical, and I don't use the handles on elliptical. I use a running motion, and it's easy on the joints, doesn't hurt my joints. And I'll go a mile on that. Other days it's the stair climb. I'll get on the stair climb. Stair climb, I go by stories, how many stories I go. And but I go till I'm beat. And all I'm doing is getting the blood flowing. And then I do resistance. I'll go get the resistance bands, and I'll do resistance. But what I'm doing is resistance in warming up my muscles for what I'm fixing to do. So I work out 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And Monday is a push day. I work certain muscles certain days. Monday is a push day. Wednesday is a leg day. Friday is a pull day. So like today, it was tricep pull downs. It was cross cable flies. It was anything that's a pulling motion. And I only do like 4 exercises that work my back and my shoulders. That's that day, you know. But I work them to a progressive overload. So what this means is I will do a warm-up set, and then I will do a max out set where I lift to where I cannot lift anymore. And if I can lift 10 reps, let's say at 25 pounds, then the next week I'm going to 30 pounds, and maybe I'll only get 3 or 4. But each week I'm shooting to beat that 3 or 4, get one more rep out of it, you know. So that's strength training is what I'm doing. But what with the resistance bands, I want my muscles to know what's coming. So I will do a resistance band workout for the exercise that I'm fixing to do, so that I warm up the tendons and get the blood flowing in that muscle group, so it knows that a lift is coming. And so you can use the resistance bands along with strength training. So that's what I would recommend. And
the reason I said they're the same thing is because when you're lifting weights, you're basically lifting against the resistance of the weight itself. And then when you're lifting against resistance bands, it's just the weight of the band pulling
Yeah.
against you.
Well,
It's
and like
the
I
same thing
differentiate,
happening, you know.
right? I differentiate between strength training or training and exercising.
Mhm.
Exercising is keeping what you've got, maintaining what you've got, maintaining the fluidity. Training is strength training. That's where you're building up muscle, you're building tone, you're strengthening your whole body. So the resistance is more of an exercise, whereas the lifting is more of a strength training.
Right. I just shared a link to Jeff's channel. He uploaded
Oh,
some new content today, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. There's my recipe. I made jerky for the trip.
There you go. And then I'm going to share a link to Kelly's channel here.
And I just shared Jeff's channel on mine.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
And let me get bacon runner.
Kudos on the hamburger quiche, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I
haven't tried it yet, but I will.
I was thinking doing another quiche because I made that quiche back in January. I'm like, boy, it's about time to make another one. And I'm thinking, one case if I can take bacon cheeseburger and a quiche and clash them together.
Yeah.
Turned out really good.
It looked good. It looked good. I'll have to give it a shot.
I just shared a link to Jeff's channel, Kelly's channel, and Donna's channel. So go check those out. Let's see here. While I'm looking at this,
I'm seeing a lot of names on here I haven't seen before.
well, we got let's see here. We had a couple from Donna's channel. They signed off, but we have 6 from Kelly's channel.
Good.
And then I got the others would tell you if they were Facebook. I don't think X interacts with StreamYard either. I think you can only just sit there and watch. There's got 2 watchers on X, 1 on Facebook, and 47 on YouTube right now. Total of 57 viewers currently. We were up to 70 something for a moment there. If you could hit that like button, that would be great. That would often helps YouTube to put this out in front of some more eyeballs and drives the number up. All right. I had some starred comments here. Rodney says, I prayed for you, Bob, about your kidneys and blood pressure after last Monday's program and expecting more good results. Well, thank you very much. I definitely appreciate it. So here's what I did to change my regimen. I was previously taking olmesartan and nifedipine, which is a calcium channel blocker, and nebivolol, which is a beta blocker. And then my hypertension was still just like through the roof. So I've bumped up my calcium channel blocker. I actually went off the olmesartan, and because my potassium was getting up to critical levels, and I started taking a water pill called chlorothiazide. So that helps the kidneys excrete water. So some of this weight I've been losing may be water weight, and also that chlorothiazide is known to drive down potassium levels. So, and it did. In a matter of like 5 days, I retested, and my potassium went from 6.3 down to 4.5. So my potassium's in the good range now. And on the flip side, I've been waking up with cramps in my legs, so I started taking electrolyte at bedtime. so all these months that I've been like, you don't need no electrolytes. Guess what I need now?
Speaking of Rodney, if you don't mind me interrupting for just a second, Rodney is a friend of mine. He's a strong brother in Christ, and I love him and appreciate him. And if y'all would throw him in your prayers as well. He just had hernia surgery himself, and it's his first time he's ever had surgery. So help him out. If you can, throw some prayers his way. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Well, now he's talking about it.
All right. Let's see here. Jamette says Kelly cooks great. Love his ranch. So
Blue cheese is better.
I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of comments giving you mad props for some of your recipe videos there. So you're doing.
He does a good job.
Yeah.
And they're simple. They're just basic carnivore simples. All they are. Just as
Yeah, that Poffle, when I said Poffle 2.0, I added just a tablespoon of heavy whipping cream to that, and boy, it was like a lot softer. It tasted more like bread. It was delicious. My daughter liked them, and that's why I'm like, she said, "You just make these. I just rather have these instead." I'm like, okay, we'll make a half a dozen of them, put them in the freezer, and there you go.
Yeah, I got to get me one of them waffle makers with the four
It's
deals
handy.
on them. I got to get one of those.
Except for my recipe, when I did that tonight, I did the 4 eggs, the panko, the what is it? Oh, baking powder. When I added that, it ended up being made 5 poffles. I had to get the little poffle maker or the chaffle maker out just to make the 5th one.
All right. In the chat, I see the URL for Jeff's channel, but not for Kelly or Donna's. Yeah, I don't know why. So I posted it in StreamYard, but didn't come over to the YouTube side. So I just put it directly in YouTube. So thanks for pointing that out. All right. Yeah. 5 days ago, I had a double inguinal hernia surgery at 72 years old. My first surgery. Glory to God. I have great hopes for after recovery, I'll be able to increase my production at the gym. Yes. All right.
Just take
Very
it
good.
slow.
Yep. Yeah.
Don't
Here's
hurt
to
yourself.
when we say here's to a speedy recovery, we're talking about the recovery, not you being speedy. You take it slow.
Yeah, use a pressure belt, either lifting weight belt. If you was closer, I'd give you mine. I personally use a back brace, because I have a bad back and I hurt it pretty bad several months ago, and so I use a back brace, but I suck it up tight, so that also works as a weightlifting belt too. So yeah, use something to tighten that core up, and be careful.
All right. I'm going to run downstairs and use the restroom and grab some more ice. I will be back in a couple minutes. I'll leave you two here to digest this comment. My teenage daughter decided to cook something last night, mashed potatoes and pasta with seed oil sauce. Pretty sure her version of butter is substandard too. She ate once today at McDonald's. Have fun. I'll be back.
Well, what are you going to do with kids?
Yeah.
Gee, eating just like I used to eat.
I can't make my kids eat carnivore. It's their choice. Like my
Right.
daughter, she wanted ice cream, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to do it. He's like, yep, I'm a hypocrite, but you can't force what you want on what you do, your lifestyle. You can't force them on your kids or anybody else. You want to make a living example.
Now, my parents forced vegetables on me, by golly.
Well, mine too. My dad tried to force.
I agree with you. You can't force anybody into it. You can't talk. One of the first things we all want to do, and I can equate this to my Christian walk as well. When you first get saved, you first become a carnivore. It's the first thing you want to do. You want everybody to know. You want to shout it from the rooftops. You want to evangelize. You want to help people. You want to bring them to the cross. You want to introduce them to Jesus. You want to bring them to carnivore. You want to introduce them to carnivore. And what I've discovered is that you lead by example. That's all you can do. Nobody wants to hear what you got to say, on either regard. If they come to you and ask you questions, wonderful. Now's your chance. Evangelize. But if they ain't asking questions, just be quiet and lead by example. That's all you can do.
Exactly. That's the way I am. It's just lead by example. Just like tonight, she loved those poffles. I'm like, okay, no more bread. And she said, because she really loves steak. And it's like, yes, and we're talking about you.
I want steak.
Now she wants steak. I Vic steak. Of course, I found KC strips at our local grocery store. Normally $52 for 4 of them. They were half price. And they were,
Oh, excellent.
So I'm like, I decided to check the grill, make sure it's not hot bees, because I hadn't got my grill out this year. Got it out, fired it up, and fixed some KC strips. Found a porterhouse T-bone for $7. Normally they're 20.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Stock up, and stick them in the freezer.
All right.
Yeah, it's when our grandkids come and stay with us, my wife she'll buy them some bread and some snacks and stuff like that. We don't force them to eat the way we eat. But ironically, when they're at home, they're on a meat-centric diet. They actually come to us and get the junk food. I said something to my wife about it one time. She says, a grandma's job is to spoil the grandkids. So I'm going to spoil them. All right. I'm out.
All right. Very good. A few extra pointers related to our topic. So we were talking about Cyclospora, and that just happens to be the one making the news right now. But you figure also other plant-based illnesses. We mentioned E. coli. That's another one that's often associated with lettuce or sometimes berries and strawberries and things like that. But some other ones that aren't, necessarily bacteria or parasites, but can have their roots in plants, depending on the person, of course, is kidney stones. So especially calcium oxalate stones. Those are tied to plants, because those come from consuming way too many oxalate-rich vegetables like spinach and almonds, and rhubarb, beets, nuts, chocolate, even tea. I'm still a tea drinker. Potatoes, and all those items bind with calcium and form sharp crystals, and they tend to accumulate in your kidneys, and you end up with kidney stones as a result. That's a plant-based illness. Some other ones would include your rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's, and even you could even say diabetes, because that comes from sugar. So sugar leads to diabetes. That's basically chronic over sugar consumption disease. Sugar toxicity is basically what diabetes is. And then your rheumatoid arthritis and whatnot, those can come from lectins that destroy the gut lining and create permeability. And then when things leak through the gut, which they call leaky gut, of course, then that can trigger different immune responses. And your nightshade family are pretty well known, notorious. That's what I'm looking for. Notorious for causing those kind of problems. And then I mentioned ulcerative colitis earlier. I got rid of ulcerative colitis by getting rid of plants. So for many people, IBS, IBD flare-ups, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, those are often called autoimmune conditions. But what is triggering the immune system, or what is triggering the irritation? A lot of times it's plant. In the case of gastrointestinal issues, it could be fiber. Could be too much fiber or the wrong kind of fiber, as well as some of those plant toxins too. So it's not just parasites like Cyclospora or E. coli, but there's a lot of issues that actually spring from the consumption of plants. Now, different people tolerate these, of course. Some people can eat plants all their lives, never get a single kidney stone, never have a single issue. I think the one viewer commented, they have a friend who's 95, moderates carbs, sharp as a tack. There's some variability there, but those who are prone to these things, oftentimes removing the plants is what helps them recover and puts them back on the path to good health. So I just thought that was some extra things we could discuss in relation to plant foodborne illnesses.
Well, when I saw, what they were trying to do with me when I had Crohn's versus what I did on my own and totally reversed it in 30 days. I mean, I talk about, reversing my heart condition and all, but really my Crohn's was the first thing that I saw get reversed besides, inflammation going down. But in 30 days, my Crohn's was gone, absolutely gone, no trace of it, and it was just, and they had me on basically an all grain diet.
Bill Cook says his grandkids love Chick-fil-A. They're actually building one right across the street from us. So
I don't understand that. I mean, I appreciate Chick-fil-A's business philosophy and all that, but I've never liked them. Maybe I'm the odd one, but even when I was eating sad, I didn't care for them. I thought they were just bland as all get out.
Yeah, I wasn't a big.
If I was going to get a chicken sandwich, I'm going over to Popeyes. They had a much better chicken sandwich than Chick-fil-A.
The only reason why I went to Chick-fil-A went on the standard diet because it was right across the street from where I work at, and it was handy to go. But other than that, I wasn't really big on Chick-fil-A. And then when I went keto, I was like, okay, we'll just do the grilled ones. And then when I went carnivore and I started carefully reading more ingredients, and I'm like, there's more ingredients in this than it is in the trash mayo that you get on the store. And I'm like, this is crazy. I ain't eating this no more.
Yeah, I didn't have no use for them even when I ate bad food.
I was so what was it? Oh, not last Friday, but the Friday before. We had me and a contractor I did work for. We had to go look at a shower that's leaking, and we had to diagnose why it was leaking. And so while we were there, we flood tested it. We plugged the drain, we filled it with water. I did the shower like back in 2022, and I've determined it was the glass guy when he drilled these brackets to hold one of the glass panes in place that punctured my waterproofing, and that's where the water was getting in. But anyway, while we flood tested it, we plugged the drain, filled it with water, showed no signs of leaking, so we went to lunch because we wanted to give it time to manifest a leak if possible. And so he takes me down to picks up Chick-fil-A, and then we go to visit where his wife works, which was nearby. And so we go through Chick-fil-A, and I'm like, well, looking at their menu, and I'm like, oh, they got grilled chicken nuggets. I'm like, all right, that seems to be my safest option. And for Chick-fil-A, I'm still sure that it was my safest option. I'm like, there we go. It's nothing but chicken. And so we went to that place of business wherever she worked, and and I had my Chick-fil-A, and we talked for about an hour. Then we went back. No, it wasn't leaking yet, so we pulled the drain and everything. But then I get back home, and over the weekend, Paul Saladino releases this video where he dissects a Burger King Whopper and the 130 some degrees ingredients it has on it. But in that video, he mentioned that Chick-fil-A's grilled chicken nuggets have 16 ingredients in them. And here we got Carno Mofo comment on the screen says that it has 30 ingredients in them. And so I'm like, oh, of course. It couldn't just be chicken.
And how do you fit 30 ingredients into a piece of meat?
I don't know if it's a marinade or if this is like maybe it's processed meat. Maybe it's like deli meat where they whipped it up, added stuff to it, solidified it, and then chopped it into nugget shapes. I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't looked at the ingredient list, but I just thought it was kind of funny that Chick-fil-A happened to come up, and I'm like, hey,
well, even their
I found a safe option, and again did I do wrong by eating Chick-fil-A nuggets? No, not necessarily. I still had the best option I could, but I'm just still shocked that there's got to be that many ingredients in it. Let me ask my buddy AI over here, how many ingredients are in Chick-fil-A Chick-fil-A grilled nuggets. Let's see what it says. Oh, this will be fun. Because the answer should be 1.
yeah, one chicken.
Woo! Okay. All right. Chick-fil-A nuggets have a lot of ingredients. The official list is one long statement, but when you break it down into individual components, there are approximately 40 distinct ingredients. Here's a full list of ingredients from Chick-fil-A's website. The chicken, boneless, skinless chicken meat breast nuggets containing up to 17% solution of a solution. It sounds like science beakers.
That's a science experiment.
So you got water, seasoning, which has yeast extract, onion powder, sea salt, garlic powder, sugar, salt, corn, maltodextrin, gum, aerobic, natural flavor, lemon juice concentrate, vinegar solids, chicken flavor, modified cornstarch, dried vinegar, apple cider vinegar, soybean oil. There we go. Sugar, cane molasses, salt, spices, chicken fat, dehydrated onion, yeast extract, corn maltodextrin, lemon peel, dehydrated garlic, red bell pepper, paprika, parsley. I want a lot of this might be in a marinade. Parsley, xanthan gum, natural flavor including smoke, calcium disodium EDTA to protect quality, and high oleic canola oil with dimethyl polysiloxane added to reduce foaming. Bon appetit.
And they still don't taste good.
So,
Well, you
What?
just mentioned 3 sugars just into those ingredients.
I know. And it's 17, and that's 17% of it. So you figure 83% of it is at least chicken. 17% of it is this
Okay.
concoction.
Bill gets the award for the best comment tonight on the post. Chicken flavor in case it don't taste like chicken. After all that, it ain't gonna taste like chicken. So they got to put chicken flavor in it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's a mic drop moment right there.
All right. Well, probably still the best option if you had no choice but to eat Chick-fil-A. So,
My opinion, the best option would be to fast if that's the only thing I got. It's like when I was in the hospital, I fasted. I'm not going to eat their food. It's probably worse than Chick-fil-A.
Riding asks, is Taco Bell the only place using the lettuce from the farm in Mexico that's causing the sickness? So no, not there's some discrepancy now. I've read this before I started the live stream today. I guess the FDA has decided that the Taylor Farms was maybe not actually the source of the Cyclospora outbreak. And so it could be that all this bagged lettuce and Taco Bell and everybody else who Taylor Farms supplies, which is a lot of restaurants and stores, they actually might all be off the hook. It might not be them at all. So no, but it's Taylor Farms, not Taco Bell. So like Taco Bell is kind of getting guilty by association here. Taylor Farms is the supplier of the lettuce. But like I said, now it's been determined that they weren't the source. So that's the latest headline I saw, like literally 5 minutes before I went live today. So I got to dig into that even more.
Well, when in doubt, eat meat.
When in doubt, go without. Eat meat.
Watch fire burn the beast. Be happy.
Yeah. Let's see here. Need that Chick-fil-A full of seed oil.
Pig out, cook out, or have a pig roast, and we'll pig out. There you go.
Here's a tongue twister. Plant produce partakers presently poop parasites profusely.
Very good, Cranky. Very good.
Yeah. I like that. All right.
He adds to that, by the way.
Yeah. Prevent profuse parasitic poop. Okay. Catching up on comments here. Raising Cane's here in Louisiana beats Chick-fil-A by a mile. No, those are like breaded tenders, right?
Yeah.
My Raising Cane's, that's all they sell is breaded tenders.
Yeah, we got them here in Texas.
It's like the only thing you can buy.
Oh my God! When they opened one up in Weatherford, they had to have cops out there directing traffic. Lines were so stinking long; it was ridiculous.
There it is. Chicken flavor in case it don't taste like chicken.
That was just a great comment.
That's the same thing. McDonald's back in the day, they used to have one ingredient French fry, which is potatoes fried in tallow. Now we have 10 to 19 different ingredients to taste like fries.
Yeah.
That's fried in seed oils that taste like tallow fries.
Get the comments off your face there, Kelly. Definitely fasting is usually having after effects. If you have after effects, I don't have after effects. So, like I said, if I come in contact with seed oils, I'm fine. So, all right. Not that I go out of my way to come in contact with seed oils, but in fact, I go out of my way to avoid them, but I don't go out of my way to avoid them religiously. So,
no. Like I said, when we had them pork rinds in Alabama, I'm sure they were cooking. They were deep fried in seed oil.
so.
Okay, no big deal. It didn't hurt me none. But there's some people who would have affected them.
Mm-hmm.
If it had been Rick, yeah, probably would have ruined his whole day.
All right. Well, we're at the end of the chat. It got quiet. All right. You can talk about anything you want now.
And we all go silent.
Yeah.
I guess, I can always say there's 3 things can make you have explosive diarrhea. Taco Bell, this Cyclospora, well, I can't even pronounce that. And too much Cyclospora, and if you eat way too much rendered fat.
Right.
That
Yeah.
doesn't do it for me.
Well, that's kind of like that's why we were wondering about it. So we came back from Hocking Hills, and then I had a few days. I had a few days of loose stools, and I figured maybe I overate on fat. I previously had ulcerative colitis, so sometimes my stomach's just my gut's just sensitive, but then the wife started having it too, and she missed a week of work. Like, she took all last week off, and then I'm like, we were watching the news about this Cyclospora outbreak, and I'm like, and so she went to the doctor and got tested, but like I said, it was negative, and now we're both fine. But it just, the timing of it all made me wonder. So makes you wonder. I see a question coming up. We got, what causes coronary artery calcium? So basically, atherosclerosis. So it's that's the when plaque collects on your blood vessels, and it's driven by, could be a number of factors. So mainstream medicine will tell you that it's all comes down to LDL and nothing else, but that's actually not true. So inflammation markers. So if something has to damage the wall of your artery, something inflammatory. So something inflammatory has to damage the wall of your artery, and that could become, you could be inflamed from your diet. You could be inflamed from high blood pressure. Those are the two big kahunas, by the way, is, your diet, high blood pressure. Those things can damage the walls of your artery, and then your body goes to repair that damage. And they do that with white blood cells and LDL particles. And that's what creates that plaque. It's kind of like, think of it as spackle on a hole. Someone punches a hole in your drywall and you come and you patch it up. That's kind of what's going on internally. And then that's what begins this cascade of plaque growing and growing and growing and growing. So if you continue to have inflammation, you continue to do damage, and you continue to have that repair effort going on, and you keep laying down plaque, and then over time, that plaque can either break loose or it can calcify. And when it calcifies, that becomes coronary artery calcium. So that's the very brief Cliff Notes version of it. So try and eat a diet that doesn't, cause inflammation. And a lot of times, if you have high blood pressure, it's because you're eating a diet that does cause inflammation, and you address the diet part. That's why a lot of people go keto or carnivore, and they were on blood pressure meds before, then their blood pressure drops, and they're able to get off the meds because now they're addressing the diet side of things, whereas before they were just addressing the blood pressure side of things with medication. So, all right. Jeff, a lot of maybe even pork rinds are cooked in lard from pigs, my wife said. Pork rinds.
Yeah, I responded to that in the chat.
Yeah, pork rind. A good pork rind is cooked in its own lard. So
You got to, first off, you got to read labels. Second off, you got to do research. Generally, they'll tell you what they're cooked in, and like I responded here, I think the brand is Bacon O's, one of the most widely distributed brands out there. And the last I researched them, they're fried in seed oils. I eat Max. I get those at Wally World. I only get the unflavored ones because some of the flavored ones have sugars in them. But I know for a fact Max is fried in their own lard. But you got to do your own research on that. Read your labels and get online and research it.
Yeah, and like Cutler says, commercial pork rinds cooked in seed oils should list it on the ingredients. Like when I go down to my local Meijer here, the store brand will just say, pork rinds, salt, and then pork skins and salt. And there's another brand also but there is one brand that will say sunflower oil, and that's the one that I usually avoid.
Yeah, and if it doesn't state specifically fried in their own lard, or doesn't say what they're fried in, do some research.
All right, Aaron, the carnivore-ish guy. My CAC score is 1400. Meet with a cardiologist tomorrow. All right.
Wow.
So I think that's, anything above 0 is bad, but I think that's pretty high. It is pretty high. I don't think it's pretty high. That is pretty high. Be interesting to hear what he says. I'm sure he's going to.
I think, if I remember right, isn't Dr. Kiltz's rather high too? Not high, but
I think Dr. Kiltz's was like in the 600s or 700s.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So, yeah, anything over 1,000 is considered like, on a scale of like low risk to very severe. Like that's anything over 1,000 is like they consider it very severe. So that could be advanced atherosclerosis and, but it doesn't tell you. That alone doesn't say that alone should not. I don't want to say that either. That alone should not set off alarms. It should set off some alarms. Obviously, you want to talk to your cardiologist, but it requires more further investigation. So, I don't think a 1400 alone is a death sentence. So, they're going to have to go in and maybe do some imaging and get a better look at what's going on in there. So. All right. Let us know how it goes. We would like to know. But yeah, no, Dr. Kiltz is like 600 or 700. He doesn't care. So he doesn't care. I want to get mine. I do. I'm curious. And but at the same time, like, it'll just it'll either probably knowing the number will probably just make me concerned. Whatever the number is, if the number's 50, 500, 1500, I like now that I know, it'll probably be just like one more source of stress in my head. Like, oh my gosh, I know what my CAC score is. And, but what can you do? So,
Yeah. My old doctor, my previous doctor, he, primary care doctor, he wanted me to, he asked me to go get one because I kept refusing his statins, and he knows all I eat is meat, fatty meat. And so he just like, would you at least go get a CAC score? And I says, you going to pay for it? Because the insurance ain't going to pay for it. He says, well, no. I says, well, then I'm not going to go get one. And it's not going to change anything I do, because I'm still going to eat the same way, because it wasn't what I'm eating now caused, if I have a high CAC, it was my old diet that caused that, not what I eat now. So I'm not concerned about it. What I'm eating now is going to be the best way for me to treat it, in my opinion. So it doesn't do me any good. Yeah, if I could get it as cheap as you could, as you can, Bob, I might consider getting one just out of curiosity.
mm-hmm.
But I know after my first, and this back when I was still eating sad, 4 years before I went carnivore, when I had my first severe AFib attack, they were concerned about damage to my heart, because initially they were afraid I had a heart attack. Turned out I didn't have a heart attack, and there was no damage to my heart, but they did a nuclear stress test, with the imaging and all that kind of stuff. And they did a complete map with, what do you call it? Scan, ultrasound. They did the ultrasound. They did imaging, radioactive, the whole 9 yards. They looked at all my veins and arteries, everything. Said I was clean as a whistle. And that's even from eating sad all my life. I was still clean as a whistle, so I'm not too worried about it.
So there's pretty much no making that CAC number go down. Like once it's calcified, it's calcified.
Yeah.
You'll hear maybe a little bit here and there about possibly that number comes down. Sometimes it was probably just a discrepancy from testing at one time to another, one person to another, one machine to another. But just take it as a given that number never goes down. So really all you want to do is just make sure that number doesn't keep going up, So that's where the CAC, one standalone CAC score test by itself doesn't serve a whole lot of purpose. It's getting one and then getting one again, 1 to 5 years to 10 years down the road, to seeing what the percentage of change is. Then that kind of gives you some data then, like how fast is this accumulating and calcifying? What's the pace? And I don't know how old you are, but Dr. Kiltz is 70. He's not really concerned about it. So, 700, what are you going to do now? They same thing. They're like, oh, here, put him on a statin, and he ain't going to do that. So, all right. Let's see here. What is MCAS? Angela. I was looking at your comment. I don't want to bring it up on the screen. Mast cell activation syndrome. That's what I Googled. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. That's out of my league there. Okay. All right. Very good. All right. So your new video, you made some beef jerky, was it right? I saw you were just uploading as I was texting you tonight's thumbnail.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, I was. I was right in the middle of it. Yeah. Yeah, I did an experiment that it was not totally successful. So in the past, so what I used to make my jerky and everything is I built a biltong box, and biltong is air dried. It's not heat dried at all. It's completely air dried, and it takes too long if you're in a hurry. So I thought I'd try and experiment and make some biltong jerky. And so I use all the biltong seasonings and the vinegar and everything. But I took the sliced meat and coated it with the seasonings and then dried it. Well, I got it too dry. I mean, it is way too dry. You got to drink water with it when you eat it. And I mean, I'm still eating it. I'm going to eat it. It's not an issue. And the seasonings are a little bit too heavy. I brushed a bunch of the seasonings off before I bagged it up and vacuum seal it. It's like I said, it's still edible. I'm not going to waste the meat, but next time I won't make a biltong jerky again. Next time I'll make traditional biltong and just let it air dry. So I had some meat left over because once this, I made 4 pounds of biltong, and once the seasonings was over for that 4 pounds, I still had another pound or 2 of meat left over, already sliced up. So I went ahead and made jerky out of it, and I went ahead and made a video out of me doing it. It's really nothing special or nothing anybody else ain't ever done before, but it's just how I do it. But it came out good. Came out real good. One of the reasons mine dried out the last time is we happened to be going to my daughter's for dinner, and that ended up allowing the heat to sit too long on that jerky, on that biltong jerky, and that's what dried it out too much. I was pretty disappointed in myself. Trust me, I'm actually a better cook than that, but mistakes happen. But it's like I said, I'll still eat it. I may be the only one that eats it, but I'll still eat it.
I want to get that dehydrator. I got some money now. I should go ahead and order it.
You got to get one, man.
I've been looking at like I said, I think it was a Magic Mill and a Kasori. I think I'm leaning towards the Magic Mill, and yeah, that's something I want to do, and I think I'm going to spring for it. I want to film it. I got a new tripod for my camera so I can adjust some angles and stuff, because what I was using in here in the office wasn't suitable for the kitchen for the video I want to make. So I think when I get that, I want to do maybe an unboxing and video on making my first jerky.
What brand do you have, Kelly? You've got a good one, don't you?
Kasori.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I know that's my air fryer. They seem to put out a pretty decent product.
Was it Magic Mill dehydrator? Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, I think that's the one I'm leaning towards right now. So, and then I'm kind of the overkill guy that I am. I'll get one that's big.
Okay, I have a philosophy and it works in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're buying a tractor or buying a cooking device, it don't matter. Get the biggest one you can afford. You're not going to regret it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You will not regret it.
That's kind of the way I am.
When I brought my tractor home, maybe Kelly can relate, but I brought my tractor home. My wife looked at it. She says, "I thought you was getting a little one." I said, "This one was only $2,000 more. Go big or go home. Get the biggest one you can afford."
Yeah, because that's what some of my plans in the future. I like to take the tractor I have. I have a 1987 Deutz Alice. My dad bought it brand new in 1987. And of course, he traded in about 91 for a 60 horsepower tractor. It was a 40 horsepower tractor, but he bought it back in the 90s because he needed an extra tractor. And of course, when he sold it, I wish when he sold the bigger tractor, I wish he had kept the bigger tractor, because the bigger tractor was 4-wheel drive and it had a front end loader. I missed that one. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep this one because it's almost like a modern classic. So I was actually going to try to fix it up as an 80s classic because that's what's now getting popular. And then I wanted to get me another tractor, but if it is, it's going to be at least 50 horsepower with a front end loader, 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, that's see, that was me. I was going to get a 28 horse. That little small 28 horse John Deere. Had a buddy of mine had one, and he just absolutely loved his, even though it had a Yanmar engine in it. It was still a good engine, and so I was going to get that. And when I went to the dealership and was looking them over, he says, "Why do you want that one?" And I said, "Well, I got a buddy of mine's got one. He really likes it. You know, he gets a lot of work done on his place with it. You know, and I don't." He said, "Well, I can put you in this 50 horse for $2,000 more. It'll only be, you know, a couple of dollars extra a month, you know." And I says, "Does that include brush hog and front end loader?" And he goes, "Yeah." I says, "Only $2,000 extra?" And he says, "Yeah." I said, "All right, if I'll qualify for it, I'll buy it." And I did. I ain't never looked back. Now, mine's not 4-wheel drive. That's one thing I didn't do. I haven't ever needed it. I mean, I've never been in a situation yet where I needed 4-wheel drive.
What's handy here is in the wintertime. I don't need it, you know, because most of the time everywhere it goes pretty dry. But the best time to have it around here is when it snows and if we get the 8 to 10 inches of snow and we clean off the driveway, our driveways out or plow and stuff, that 4-wheel drive comes in handy.
Well, I imagine it does. Yeah, we don't have that issue down here. We get some snow once in a while, but all we got to do is wait a little while. It'll go away.
All right. So yeah, so I was like looking here. This is the Magic Mill. This one's overkill. I'm not gonna get that one. The top one says it's like 16 trays. This is their standard one, which is 7. But here's one that's says 15 right here. This one in the middle. That one looks interesting. Like I said, I don't want to do the double one, but here's that one that's 15 here. And this one's 10, stainless steel. Yeah, those are the ones I'm looking at. Basically they all do the same thing. I see just a couple different. Some say 95 to 167 degrees. Some say up to 176 degrees. So I think it's all cosmetics after that. So that's what I'm looking at. Those are the kind of things I'm looking at right now. Jamette had a question. Where to go? How can I make my own electrolytes as LMNT is expensive? So
Mitch has a good video on that.
Yeah. I just take pills. I don't, I have a magnesium pill. It's salt my food, and that's all I was taking. And then I haven't I've been making sure to really salt my food. I've been making sure to take that pill every night now. I used to only take it like a couple times a week. And I haven't needed any potassium yet because that's actually what I'm still trying to excrete. So not worried about it yet.
I went from Element, and I went to Keto Chow because it was cheaper. And then I quit electrolytes altogether when I found out my potassium levels were getting too high. But then I went back to having cramps when I work out in the heat all day. And so I went back and got an Element again. But because to be honest, I didn't care much for the Keto Chow. But then last time I was going to order, I was getting just as good a price off of Amazon as anything, and I get them quicker. I came across Salter, and I know Kelly's sponsored by them or recommends them. I came across Salter, so I ordered them. And I ordered the on Element. I always did the unflavored, but the Salter was running the deal, for my gosh, a whole lot cheaper than Element. And they were offering the flavored ones, so I thought I'd try the flavored ones. I won't do that again. Those flavored ones are terrible, in my opinion. Not enjoying them at all. But I've thought very seriously about making my own I saw back, what was it, a couple years ago, 3 years ago, when Mitch made that video, and I only question, how does he know the ratios are the correct ratios? That's my thing. You know, he did his own math on them and everything, and I'm sure they're probably fine, but I want to know what the correct ratios are. Is he correct in his? You know, that's my only thing. Otherwise, I'd be making my own myself.
DS111 says, I use Malden sea salt and also frequently will lick and dip my finger in it between meals, as I recall Dr. Kills to do before. If I don't eat salt, then I get lower leg cramps. So yeah, if I don't have a salty meal, so like tonight, I haven't had dinner. I'm high risk for cramps tonight. So I'll probably have to eat something and salt it, or mix some salt with my water before I go to bed. So if I don't have salt with dinner, salt to taste, yeah, then I do have cramps. That's something I experienced too. Cutler says, I made my own electrolyte mix with pink salt from Costco, magnesium glycinate, and potassium chloride from bulk supplements via Amazon. I use the formula by Mitch, Old Guy Carnivore, in one of his vids. So there you go. All right.
Yeah, and I think it's an excellent video he put out. Like I said, I just want to know that his ratios are correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, you know, you can overdo things.
And that's true. The LMNT website has a DIY recipe. That is true.
Did not know that. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, they
tell
nice
of them to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they tell you how to make it. I could probably look that one up too.
Okay. I want to check that out, and then I want to compare that to Mitch's
recipe. Okay, yeah, here it is. I'm going to post it in the chat so you can click on that link.
Yeah. And Cranky has a response to me. I don't know how I missed his new video, though. I'll look it up.
Mitch put out a more recent video from the one you saw. Explains how to calculate the ratios with whatever magnesium or potassium you have. Okay.
I'll have to see if I can find it, because I'm subscribed to him, but I'm surprised I missed it.
Yeah, I got some brand downstairs. It's keto something. My daughter got it off of Amazon years ago, and so the other night I had that, and it was high sodium, high chloride, so it had a nice salty taste to it, and the magnesium was probably 75, and the potassium was 300. And now that my potassium's down low, I went ahead and had one, and that way was able to sleep all night with no cramps. So, yeah. So it doesn't always have to be LMNT just because you see them all over sponsoring all these other YouTubers doesn't mean you have to order their product.
Well, I see a lot of people leaving Element and going to Salter.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of Salter. I've heard of Salty, but not Salter.
Yeah, Salter is right now for the same price for the same amount, $45 for the same amount as Element, and then Salty I saw on Amazon for the unflavored at $39 for 30
I got my Salter packets, 30 of them. I got them for like $30 on Amazon. You know, whereas I was spending almost $50 for the Element. But I'm gonna look more into this, making my own. Get away from all this stuff.
I just looked at their website. Yeah, interesting. LMNT is in Walmart now. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Excuse me.
But I have not seen the raw at Walmart, or at least in my local Walmart. They sell the watermelon, but it's not the 30 pack. You get the small. It's like half of it.
Who was it I saw recently made made ice cream and they put I think salter in it or put something in it in their ice cream to flavor it. Who was that? I can't remember now, but that sounded interesting.
That would be interesting. All right. All right. Very good. 10:20. We're scheduled to 10:30. We've got 10 more
Ketogenic
minutes
woman.
to go, guys. What's that?
Ketogenic woman.
I think she does have a recipe that she makes.
She did. I saw where she did an ice cream and she put for flavor. She used, I don't know what brand. I don't remember what brand it was, but she put flavored electrolyte packet in it.
I'm looking it up here. Here's a year ago, carnivore ice cream with cookie topping without a machine. That's probably not it. I don't know. Ketovore ice cream using a Ninja Creamy. And she's got other ice cream recipe playlist. Oh, let me pause it. It's just gonna make noise. Let's see if one of these mentions the electrolytes in the. Yeah, I turned electrolytes into cheesecake pops. Is that it?
It might have been. I don't remember. I know she wasn't using a machine on hers. She was just shaking it up in a mason jar.
Yeah, here's a video I'm going to post in the comments. It says, "Oh, hold on, I don't need all that garbage."
I don't believe there's anybody on the internet that has more ways to cook sardines as that woman does. I never even thought about cooking sardines in my life.
Yeah, I've never cooked a sardine either.
That woman's a sardine eating fool. I swear. I don't like them that much.
All right, here we go. Here comes the link. The first link I pasted had a bunch of stringy characters on it. This one doesn't. That says electrolytes. I turned electrolytes into cheesecake pops. Sounds interesting. All right. I've heard of also people making mixing keto chow with their ice cream too to get different ice cream flavors. So if you like keto chow. Jamet asks, do we really know or believe what ingredients say on Element T or any fake electrolyte powder?
No.
Yeah, no, I mean, trust them for what it says. It's, it says their ingredients is what it is. The controversy came down to was it the word natural flavors? So natural flavors is usually obscure. And the thing is Element T would say like no sugar added or no fluff, no whatever, simple ingredients. But then they were using natural flavors that they purchased from a third party. The third party didn't disclose that their natural flavors had a little bit of maltodextrin in it.
Yep.
And so once that came to light, actually it was Element T that publicly broke it. Like, hey,
I appreciate their honesty.
Yeah, we want you to know that this is what we learned about our flavored. There's a trace amount of maltodextrin in there that's, in my opinion, probably not even worth worrying about. But that's where the whole Element T controversy started. So
and when that came out, I wasn't even using flavored stuff. I was early on in my journey. All I was doing was the unflavored. And even the salter, their unflavored is fine.
Yeah.
See, my thing is, I'm always low on salt. Every blood test I get, my salt is in the toilet, literally. I just don't retain it. I salt my water. Just about every time I get my water, I salt my water. I eat salt on everything. I salt my water with Redmonds, and I eat Malden like it's going out of style on everything I eat. And like my eggs, I added salt to my eggs when I whipped them up, when I made scrambled eggs, and then I put salt on them on top of that after they were cooked. I pack away the salt, and I still don't retain enough of it.
Yeah, so they used to say all natural. That's what it was. They used to use the word all natural on their product, and the maltodextrin, the undisclosed maltodextrin, goes against that. And so there's that. So actually, you know, some people filed a class action lawsuit against them in 2025. So
Now, like I said,
Now, my question is, I remember I used to get the flavored element, and it used to say natural flavoring, but I was reading on the back of the ones that you get at Walmart, and I don't see natural flavor anymore. Now each flavor says natural, like the watermelon, natural watermelon flavor. Now, is it got the maltodextrin hidden in that, or did they finally got that taken out?
I don't know.
I would think, and just speculation on my part, I would think it was that they took it out after all the heat they went through, even though it wasn't their fault. And that's the thing. Like I said, I appreciate their honesty because it wasn't their fault. You know, it was a third party that was doing it to them, and they weren't aware of it until they had independent testing done, and it showed up in the independent testing. They immediately shut stuff down. To me, I mean, that just gives me a feeling that they can be trusted. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's pretty honest of a business to do that. And like I said, if you question it, don't get the flavored. Get the regular. There's nothing in it but the minerals that you want. You know, or the electrolytes, I mean. And it has no taste to it.
Actually, it tasted quite flavorful, nice salty water. It's what I mean, that's what I love. Like, I hadn't done it in a while, but I think starting tomorrow, I'm going to start salting my water down at work.
Yeah, and the only reason I tried the flavored stuff, you know, is I looked at the ingredients. I said, okay, well, I'm not too concerned with any of this. I'll give it a shot. And like I said, I'm in maintenance. You know, I would never have done it if I was trying to lose weight, or if I was in the beginning of my journey. I wouldn't touch anything with flavoring in it. But now that I'm in maintenance, I can indulge a little bit here and there. I just personally don't care for their flavored stuff and salter. You know, that's just me. Other people may like it, but it ain't my thing. I'll go back to the plain stuff.
Okay, so here's an official response from LMNT. Throughout 2026, we are gradually transitioning the flavor carrier in raspberry salt and orange salt from maltodextrin to tapioca fiber, with more of our flavors to follow soon. Yes, we are in the process of switching all flavors over to tapioca fiber in the next year or so, with raspberry salt and orange salt as the first ones to the market. So they are currently making the transition. So there isn't. So yes, they are getting rid of maltodextrin, but it's in process at the moment. So my opinion, enjoy your maltodextrin in the LMNT. There's such a trace amount of it that it's if you have it 1 LMNT a day, it's going to have like zero impact on you. So like I said, I think the whole controversy was much ado about nothing. But I get it, you know. So
I mean, if most of the time it's probably maybe just a half a carb or a carb, that's probably about the most that you're going to get if you do have a flavored one.
Right. Yeah. It's nothing to nothing to go to court over, in my opinion.
If everything you eat all day long has maltodextrin in it, yes, it can add up. If the one thing you have is that one little flavor packet, and that's all you have, it's probably not going to hurt you unless you're uber sensitive to it. But that's how we feel about everything on this, on the carnivore diet, whether something contains a little seed oils or something, as long as we're not indulging in that every single day, it's probably not an issue. We can get a little too dogmatic about this stuff sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody's got to fit this to their lifestyle, what's best for them.
My favorite is citrus salt and watermelon. I like them all, actually. So, but like I said, I haven't been able to have them for years because I can't have the potassium. So I haven't had them in ages.
I found these here at Walmart. They have a 4-pack, $9.97. They had the lemonade salt and they had this pineapple. I got these where, if I want to, the electrolytes, that electrolytes, but the fizz, every now and then, that's what I got. And it does not have maltodextrin in it at all.
Why do football players drink Gatorade? A couple reasons. One, money. They're being paid to. It's advertising. It's called sponsorships. Number two, it's supposed to, Gatorade is supposed to replenish electrolytes, and there is a little electrolytes in it, but not nearly as much as there is in LMNT. So the amount of electrolytes you get in a Gatorade is actually pretty minuscule.
Well, my understanding is it all started. I want to go a Florida college. Had a very successful year. I mean, when you playing football in a hot, humid place like Florida, you got to have something. And they used to give players. I remember when I was growing up, coaches would give us salt pills, in training, and so that's what they used to give players. Well, they started giving players. I want to say it was University of Florida or whatever, the Gators. They were giving them like pickle juice, and somebody ended up coming up with some kind of formula to give them before a game or during a game to drink that I want to say had pickle juice in it or something. And eventually it morphed into Gatorade. Hence the reason why it's called Gatorade is because University of Florida Gators. And it took off from there. Well, every sports team after that said, well, these guys are really performing great. Maybe we need to get on this. And it developed into a commercial thing. And I'm sure I've got the story screwed up somehow, but it's the basic gist of it. And of course, then, other companies came in with Powerade and whatnot, but they took what was probably originally a pretty clean formula and just morphed it into this concoction of chemicals, mainly based around flavor. And they do this with everything. I mean, they'll take something that's healthy in the food industry and turn right around. And because it's popular, they'll turn right around and start adding junk to it. And you're still thinking that what you're eating, or in this case, drinking is healthy when it's not the least bit. But yeah, it's terrible stuff now. But that's how it got started. And then okay, you talk about athletes. Okay. There was a time you watch, if you're old enough and you watch football, how many football players smoked? How many of them drank? They were athletes. There's a book out there about the Dallas Cowboys, North Dallas 40. I think they even made a movie about it. I think every one of them Cowboys smoked. I know they all drank to excess, but they still got out there every Sunday, and played hard. And athletes today, some of them may be better about their health, but for the most part, They still eat the same old stuff. They were eating what they were told to eat, which was, a cleaner, sad diet, but they still eat all the junk and everything. They're athletes. When you're young like that and you're strong and you're athletic, you're bulletproof. You can eat that junk. I know I could. I thought I was bulletproof. Turned out I wasn't. We all find out in the end.
All right. Papa Carnivore is in the house now. Welcome here. All right. Okay. Now, let's see here. Jemet mentions pickle juice or olive juice. Jeff mentions pickle juice or olive juice. So I read an article the other day. This is kind of interesting. If you get a cramp, they say go for the pickle juice. And so some people think that pickle juice has electrolytes in it, and you have this instant electrolyte response to it. Not according to this article. There is some electrolytes in it, but it would take time for it to get into your stomach, go through the digestive tract, digest, end up in your blood serum, make its way to the muscle to cure the problem. So the reason you get an instant response to pickle juice is it actually has to do with a nerve in the back of your throat. When that vinegar, that acid touches that nerve, it just sends a signal to the brain that kind of interrupts the signal going to the cramp.
Is that why mustard works?
Right. Yeah.
I've used mustard 4 or 5 times now when I get a cramp at night, and it immediately takes it away. And I could never explain that. So that kind of explains it right there. I always thought it was the vinegar.
Yeah. Does pickle juice actually stop cramps? I'm not going to be able to read it.
Now, see, my farrier, he sweats something terrible, and he's very athletic. He's a former bulldogger, very, very strong, very athletic, and he carries pickle juice around in his truck to drink on all day long because he'll cramp up real bad while he's working.
So yeah, it takes about 30 minutes for even a small volume of pickle juice to leave the stomach. So the blood electrolyte levels simply wouldn't rise quickly enough to explain the cramp relief. The real cause starts the moment pickle juice touches the back of the throat. When the acetic acid in pickle juice hits the oropharynx, the region in the back of the mouth and throat, it triggers sensory receptors that send a signal inhibiting the alpha motor neurons responsible for sustaining the cramp. Pickle juice essentially shocks the nervous system out of the cramp loop at the neural level, not the chemical level.
I'll be darned. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I'll post that later. Yeah, that was. Sue.
I'm still going to do the mustard though.
Oh yeah,
it works.
All right.
But we always got pickles in the refrigerator too.
Yeah.
I don't eat them, but my wife does.
So has anyone ever had an ApoB test is what Sue has had. So yes, I have, and mine is high, but all my lipids are out of whack because I have my kidney disease. So it is what it is. So an ApoB is one of the ways that they check using the generic term cholesterol. Okay, so LDL, like a standard lipid panel would measure HDL, triglycerides, and LDL, and you could have high LDL, and most doctors might freak out about the high LDL, but you can get other tests too. So one of them is an ApoB test that tests for the particle, how many of the number of particles are floating around that could potentially, be directly attributed to atherosclerosis, get caught in the nooks and crannies of a damaged blood vessel or whatnot. Same thing with like LP(a). You don't want a lot of small LDL, you want a lot of large LDL. That's what it's for. So it's kind of like a little more precise narrowing down of what's going on cardiovascular wise in your system. So, but the readings also will tell you, what's going on. Your everything's related. So, you got high ApoB. Could also be related to metabolic syndrome, obesity, whatnot. It's just a marker of overall health. You don't want to see that. You ideally don't want to see that crazy high. So,
Who is it? There is a doctor that recommends it. Oh gosh, I watch his videos every single day. The black doctor from Chicago, help me out.
Hampton.
Dr. Hampton. Yes, Tony. I believe Tony recommends that. He's big on the ApoB, Apo little a. Getting those checked out.
Yeah. It's just a more precise measurement than your LDL. So, because you could have IDLDL, but you could have a modest ApoB, and then that's something they like that better. So, mainstream medicine, that is. All right. That's interesting. Dr. Baker believes the act of swallowing alone that stops the cramp, but that doesn't work for me. Pickle juice or a quarter teaspoon of salt is what works for me.
I know moaning and groaning and limping around the living room at 3 o'clock in the morning doesn't help. But mustard darn sure does.
Yeah. Cutler also says, I use a teaspoon in each 40-ounce bottle of water for nearly 2 years, and then stopped and just added salt. The salt alone didn't prevent leg cramps. So I went back to the electrolyte mix, half a teaspoon per 40 ounce. This caused me to have heart issues. So now I add half teaspoon pink salt and 1/3 teaspoon electrolyte mix, a 40-ounce bottle of water. And he corrected a measurement later on too. So that's interesting. What kind of heart trouble? So like the big danger here in the electrolyte mix, and this is what Jeff encountered is the potassium. So
yeah.
The potassium.
I want to say cranky's an AFibber too, I think.
Yeah. And so that's probably, what you got to watch out for. So like my potassium runs high, my salt's always low. I could go downstairs and just eat salt and go to bed. My salt levels aren't going to go up. It's like I can't get anything to get my sodium levels to go up. My magnesium, usually stays a little on the high side, but I do supplement it ever so slightly. So, and but if you're having heart trouble, usually it's potassium. But if you're not getting leg cramps, don't take electrolytes. Like, don't take electrolytes unless you have a symptom or a reason why. So don't go on a keto or carnivore diet and just think, I must buy Element. This is what we do. We must take an Element every day. No, like when I first started my carnivore diet, I went months. I didn't supplement electrolytes at all. I didn't have any cramps either. And I know that's different than most people. A lot of people, they experience cramps, but I just didn't have that issue. And, so if you have cramps, and usually it's at night, they'll wake you up at night. If you start to have that issue, then have an electrolyte packet, couple hours with a glass of water, a couple hours before bed. I say a couple hours before bed. That way it can get through you. You can pee it out before you go to bed, or else you're going to be getting up in the middle of the night. Yep. And then you should be able to sleep through the night just fine. And see if you need to do that once a night. See if you can get away with doing that once every other night. And just take them as needed. But don't just take them for the sake of taking them, because if you get too much serum sodium, too much serum magnesium, too much serum potassium, and it can cause health issues. So high electrolyte levels in your blood can be dangerous. So don't supplement only if you need supplementation. Don't supplement for the sake of supplementation. So,
too much potassium will stop your heart.
That's right.
That's what they give for lethal injections. And so, you want to be careful of that. That's why I always advocate, get a blood test, find out what you need. Don't just willy-nilly take it because the other carnivore influencer is taking it. Use it as a supplement as needed. Now me, like I said, I have to watch my potassium. Okay. My salt, my sodium is always low, so I salt heavily. My magnesium, it stays in a normal range. I have no issues. I take magnesium glycinate, and a couple times a week I'll take a magnesium oxide. This is for bowel issues. But potassium, I tend to stay away from. But at the same time, I work outside in the heat. And if I've spent a hot, heavy day working and I'm sweating heavy, I'm going to take some electrolytes, because otherwise I'm going to be up eating mustard in the middle of the night because I'm going to cramp. And there's times like I'll be riding my motorcycle in the heat, and for whatever reason I'll reach for something or whatever, I don't know, but I'll start cramping up in my arms. And I know I've got to get some electrolytes in me, and they'll be cramping up bad. And that's not a good thing to have cramps in your arms when you're riding a motorcycle 80 miles an hour down the highway, so
it's not good to have a cramp in your right leg when you're driving a 15-passenger church van either.
And
it happened to me on the Will Rogers Turnpike on I-44, just getting from Missouri to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
My legs started cramping. Oh, it was miserable.
Yeah, I'll get leg cramps too when I'm actually I'll get more of a cramp like in my hip area. Not so much my legs, but more in my hip area. Sometimes when I'm riding, because when you're riding a motorcycle in the Texas heat, you don't even know you're sweating. Because you got all this air passing over you, you don't realize you're sweating, and but you are. And man, I had a long motorcycle ride Saturday, and when I got home, I noticed I was starting to cramp up. When I got home, I hit an electrolyte packet.
I had one the other day in my pool. I was done swimming. I went to cover my pool, so I'm pulling the solar cover up over the side of the pool. I'm still in the pool. I'm pulling it to the other side, and then I got to swim under the cover to the other side to get to the ladder. And as I'm swimming under, it's only a 4-foot deep pool, so it's not big. As I'm swimming under it, I kick off the sidewall to give myself some propulsion, and I felt my calf start to cramp up, and I'm like, oh no. I stood right up in the middle of it.
That ain't cool.
So yes, and I was in the middle of it with the pool cover on. So I stood right up in the middle of it, because whenever I start to get a cramp, I need to stand straight up right away. I need to fight against it, So I stood up in the middle of the pool with the plastic draped all around me, like, no, that ain't happening. I ain't gonna drown here. So Sue Galletley says, "Thank you, Bob. My husband's doctor had him get that test as she wanted to put him on statins. His LDL was only slightly elevated. His ApoB test came back at 0.78 and normal is 0.77. Okay, so this is not medical advice, but he's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's fine.
Well, that's the modern doctors today.
Yeah.
I mean, my doctor did that. You need to go on a statin. My gosh, your cholesterol is 325. And I'm just like, so? My whole body's made up of cholesterol. What's the big deal? My brain's got to have cholesterol. All my cells need cholesterol. Seems to me, the more I got, better off I'm. The healthier I am. And I just always refuse the statin. I don't care what test you give me. It ain't gonna change what I do, because it isn't what I'm eating now that led to any heart issues I have. It's what I was eating before that led to what I have now. If I have high CAC, ApoB, whatever, it doesn't matter. That was in the past, and that was brought on by eating the way the doctor wants me to eat. So I'm eating the best way I can, a species-specific diet that is the best for my heart and my general health. And nothing's going to change that. No test is going to change that.
All right. Welcome back, Kurt.
Kurt's back. He's at the hospital. He ran.
Yeah.
He's gone.
He's escaping now. He's in his vehicle. I see his seatbelt on.
He managed to grab his clothes. He didn't escape with the scrubs on.
Yeah, I can barely hear you, but yeah, I got released. I gotta have surgery.
Yep. Well, you knew that was coming.
Yeah, well, I found out I have a groinal hernia too.
Oh, great.
Yep. So, got to see what work has to say, because I know that they, prior, when I had this umbilical hernia, they did imaging stuff and nothing was ever said about that. So now I got a groinal hernia on top of this. And they were, I have to say, when we first entered, the people were jerks. The girl that made my night was a phlebotomist, and she was, I don't know, 25, maybe 24. She was really upbeat, and then it just got better from there. The girl that did the imaging, she was an older gal, and she was nice. And then finally, the nurse that came in and finalized everything was fantastic. But the guy that came in with her was a jerk. Earlier, they come in and she introduced herself, and she says who she was, and he says, my name is such and such, and I said, yeah, and who are you? Well, I'm a registered nurse. Well, how do I know? I don't know you from Joe Blow. Why are you here? But anyways, yeah, I'm out. I'm free. I got released. Wife's getting dinner for herself. So how's everything? What did I miss?
Oh, well, it's been 3 hours, so quite a bit, nothing at the same time. So we've just been hanging back, shooting the breeze. You know, Donna and Dr. Kiltz, they took off, and it's been the three of us ever since till you jumped on. And yeah, we talked about, got back on our theme for a bit about different diseases that plants might cause. Besides Cyclospora and E. coli, you got things like kidney stones, rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes. These all actually are plant-based diseases in the end. So, and then we talked about food dehydrators. Jeff released a new video right before he went live tonight. He dropped a new video making some meat. And I talked about the dehydrator that I think I'm going to be buying very soon because I happen to have a little extra spending dough currently. So,
cool.
Yep.
Cool. That's next on my list is dehydrator.
Yeah. I'm going towards. I think I'm leaning towards one called Magic Mill. So, Magic Mill's it was between Magic Mill and Kasori.
Okay.
And I don't think I can go wrong with either one. They're pretty much identical, I think. So.
Yeah. Well, once you get it and you test it out, let me know how it is.
All right. Yeah. So that's what I want to do is I want to order it, and then I'll do a whole unboxing video and my first trial run. You know, try and put all that together in a video, and upload it if it's interesting, or I'll just trash it if it's not. So.
One thing I want to try with mine, I think I saw Dr. Baker doing it one time.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of making jerky, make more like a beef chip.
Mm-hmm.
He was taking his and slicing them super thin and drying them out and making them crispy, with just salt on them. And that sounded interesting.
I have done that. That works good. All right. Took not 80-20, but the 93, the more lean top sirloin, ground sirloin. I did that where I'd smash it flat as I can, put it on there, dehydrate it, and made chips that way. Really good. A little salt on it.
Cool.
So, Jeff, I got a question for you.
Yo.
All right. For beefy taste, do you think eye of round, flank, what cut of beef would be the best for beef taste?
For good beefy taste, in my opinion, most of your taste comes from the fat. So the fattier the meat, the better. And you can't go wrong with a chuck roast. A slow cooked chuck roast is excellent for a good beefy taste because it's usually got plenty of fat in it and everything. So that's the way I lean.
All right. Okay, gentlemen. Time for me to get going.
All right.
My
Yeah.
brother, you have a good night.
Yeah, I'm released, and I'll let you know how what's going on with the surgery.
Well, take her greasy.
Yep. We'll do.
Sounds good.
Take care, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
You too.
All
Yeah,
right.
when it comes to making that jerky and whatnot, you know, they're going to tell you get lean cuts. Don't use fatty meat. You know, because fat can go rancid on you. But you know, I found that generally it gets ate up pretty quick, so it's not that big of an issue. Yeah. But I do go with a lot of leaner cuts, like what I've got. When I had my cows processed, I got a lot of London broils and quite a few top rounds and whatnot. And these are leaner cuts, and some of the cuts I've got are not tender cuts. And so that's what I'm making my jerky out of. That London broil is great for jerky because it's very lean, and you've got to cut it right. You got to cut it, you know, against the grain, not with the grain. That's important. But it makes great jerky. And then the eye of round makes good jerky too.
PT Doc asks, is this a regular weekly live? Yes. Every Monday at 8 p.m.
And you're welcome to join us anytime you want.
Right. Yep. We invite just about anybody can click the link and join us on screen. If I don't know you, I will, and I can't tell in the little thumbnail at the bottom that you're actually a real person. I'll probably ask you to wave or go like this or something to show me that you're a real human. So, all right. Very good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 10:56. So we're actually 26 minutes past our scheduled stop time. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up, I think. So, all right. So how do we stay safe from Cyclospora and other plant-based illnesses?
Eat meat.
Don't eat it.
Just eat meat.
That's right. Continue to just eat meat, stay carnivore strong, and we will see you next Monday. So thank you for everyone who joined us on screen. We had Jeff, we had Donna Ray, Bacon Runner, and then we had Dr. Kiltz, and we had Kelly, and we had Kurt. That's everyone, right?
Yep.
I believe so. Yes. All right. And all of you in the comments that asked questions and contributed to our discussion tonight, you did a beautiful job as always. We love having you here, and we hope you have a very pleasant week. We'll see you on the interwebs between now and then, and hopefully we'll see you again next Monday. We love you all. Have a good night.
Good night, y'all.